Why, hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, thank you so much for joining me and welcome to tonight's stream. It's some more Paradigm Paradox as we are ready to start another route. Which guy will we get? I am uncertain. Probably gonna roll a dice, to be honest. Oh goodness, I'm really soft, aren't I? Let me turn that up a bit more. Okay, more. Okay, that should be all right. All right, yes, but without any further ado, let's pop over here now. Oh, gotta hit pause on the musics. Hello. I'm really low. There we go. That's a bit better. All right, well, it's time for some more magical boys, magical girls, and getting absolutely smacked in the face with moral questions. So we're gonna go activity report.
いろいろなものが楽しめるみたいだよ。
Yep, actually turn that down just a smidgen on y'all side.
思い出、一緒に振り返ろうか。
Yep. All right, so we have two of the hero boys left to romance. We have Tokio Takato and Mihaya Araki. So we're gonna do some nice old dicing because I can't decide what I want to do. So we're gonna do regular dice roll. Evens, we're gonna do Mihaya, and odds, we're gonna do Tokyo. All right. All right, it's odds, so we're doing Tokyo. So that means we're gonna hit start.
始めるんですか。じゃあ、早く行きましょう。
And, yep, we're gonna use Prince Takanashi. And we're gonna smack that skip button. Because we're going through the common route. And all we have to do is get to the specific questions we have to do for Tokyo. Which there's like 3 or 4, I think. Not gonna be too much of a hassle. All right. Oh, excuse me. Alright. That's right, then we go out and we bump into the bad guys in disguise. And then we get home, we talk to our uncle, we realize we dropped our pendant, we go back out to get it. And then we're rushing home and we get cornered by a monster. Which are, they are real. And we now know that they are dead people. They are people. They are people who got hit by monsters. If you get hit by a monster, you become a monster. A very fun way of continuing the monster lineage. I say sarcastically, as we find out. And if we don't find out that in a fun way, we definitely find that out in probably the worst way possible. Alright, yep, there's our other guy that I'm uncertain if he's actually... He might actually be a bad guy. I'm uncertain about it. We haven't seen much about him. So, now, what do? We actually have to go to the Chem Lab Prep Room, which is where we're going to find Tokyo. And this is where we go to start Bloom meetings. The room I was in yesterday was connected to this one. I thought I might run into someone if I came by. Wishful thinking, I guess. No sign of the girls, or anyone in fact.
何してるの?
It's Tokyo. Oh, I was just looking for someone, but they don't seem to be here. I was just about to leave. Is he staring at me? Oh my gosh, Phantom, were you traveling? Congrats on being home.
で、出て行かないの?
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. He was staring at me, so I'd take the hint to get out of here. He must think I'm a total flake. Oof. But what's Tokio doing in the chem lab prep room anyway? Is he part of the chemistry club? Well, no. No, he's not. He's one of the blooms. That's okay. Alright. Oh, thank you. I'm fighting a bit of a headache right now. I did take some pain medicine, but I'm like, I'm low energy today. But we looking cute no matter what. Alright. Yep. Fighting time. Yeah, you know what'll help. You know, I don't know if that'll help, but we'll see. Oh yeah, this is where we find out our powers augment and the girls go bonkers. Yep, all good. And then we get talking, hang out with Lise, and we got to go to the chemistry prep lab again. Once again. Looks like there's no one here. Wait, my bad, there is someone. Oh, he's sleeping. Oh. Is that Tokio? Why is he sleeping in a place like this? Yeah, this week's been stressful. And today was a lot of housework, so. Oh no, I'm ready on. Sure.
誰かいる? Ayumu?
He thinks I'm the student council president. I should probably sneak out before he catches on. That's the best idea, right? Maybe I should have said something to him? He still seemed half asleep, though. Ugh, I don't know if I did the right thing. Well, we certainly moved ourselves in his direction. Yep. Alright. Yep, and here's the residential district problem. Oh, blessings. Goodness gracious. Yep, and then we fight. Oh, that's right. There's 2 attacks in the residential district. One's during the day, and that's when bullshit happens. Oh, that's right. I have to say I'll do it myself, because apparently letting him do it pushes me towards the villain side. Which doesn't make sense. That's why I think he's a villain. I think he's actually a villain in disguise who's ratting on us in the, ratting on us to the villains. But we have to go to the research district again, which we've already done. This is for Ayumu and Tokio. So we hang with Tokio. Yep, and then we talk to our, uncle, and then all the fun stuff. We see her. Who owns the world? Humans. All right. There we go. All good, all good. And then we have to go get tested on because we are just freak experiments to them. And then we go out and fight some more. And that's when we find the bad guys. Our first full introduction to the bad guys. And we have to attack the vectors. Oh. computer, stop recommending me Xbox Game Pass. I don't have an Xbox. Well, I guess I do, but it's a Xbox 360 that I've never even opened before, so... It's a... Yeah, we're supposed to be wooing Tokio. So far I think we're doing well. But I won't find out until a bit later. But I think we're all alright. I think I've selected the correct option. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, we're also gonna get to see a lot more of Kaori this route. Because that means we're gonna be hanging out with Kaori. Yep, Lise is waiting, except she goes home, and so she gets Yep, there's our boys. We don't realize it's them. We think she'll be fine. There we go. Alright. Now we deal with all of this fun stuff, and we see the dead bodies, or the injured bodies, and it's our friend. Yeah, da-da-da-da, whoopsies. And... Oh, excuse me. And then we figure out the secret behind the vectors. It's dead people, or well, injured people. They were people. Which really sucks to think about. Alright, yep. So then we have our friend. We have to do it. We have to defeat Lise. Wait. What if I ask Kaori for help? I mean, we want Kaori... We want to do well by Kaori. Hello, Pudding. I hope you feel better soon. I hope you are feeling better. Go to the chem lab.
ここで何してるの?
That's right, what are you doing here? Oh, I was just, Oh no! Sleep well! Rest up! I hope you feel better. Tokio and I haven't really talked much, so it would just make him worry unnecessarily if I mentioned Lise. While I waffled over how to answer, Tokio spoke up.
まあ、いいや。痛ければ、いればいいんじゃない?
I thought it might be awkward if we were alone together, but he didn't seem to care. So, what brings you here? Hold on, my hair is like... half... there we go. My hair was half stuck in my headphones. I was like, why is this uncomfortable? Well, that would explain it. Okay.
俺はちょっと気持ちを落ち着けに来た。
Oh, calm down. I looked at him surprised. I didn't know Tokio all that well, but I got the impression that he was usually very composed. If he felt he needed to calm down, he must have been pretty upset about what happened yesterday too. Speaking of, I did see Tokio then. You helped Ayumu evacuate everyone yesterday, didn't you? I thought it was admirable how you kept your cool.
あんただって頑張ってた気がするけど。
Yeah, thanks. I was genuinely surprised that he even noticed me. There's still so much I have to work on. I couldn't even help someone close to me.
噂で聞いた。
Yep.
それってあんたの友達のこと?
Yep. Yeah. I felt as if the floodgates suddenly opened up. Lise was so cheerful and kind. She was always there for me. But I hadn't been so nice to her recently. I kept secrets from her and I wasn't able to do much for her. I know it's too late for regrets, but I've been thinking about all I could have done to be nicer, and it just feels like so much. But thinking about those what-ifs wouldn't do me any good. I looked at the ground.
俺はその子のことをよく知らないから、目の前にいるあんたを通して想像することしかできないけど、少なくともあんたが優しくないってことはないんじゃない？だって、あんたは後悔してるんでしょ？
I mean, he's true.
本当に優しくない人間は、あんたみたいに後悔したりしないよ。
He's saying the truth that if you regret it, then you're not a mean person. That seemed like a convenient interpretation to me, but I could tell Tokio was trying to make me feel better, which I appreciated. Thanks for saying that. I still can't really forgive myself, but that does take a little weight off my shoulders.
そっか。
No. I knew it would take time for me to recover and move on, but in that moment, I felt a tiny bit better. Thank you, Tokio. Alright. We're gonna stop the argument the best we can. Alrighty. And then we get to, we're now on a route. Let's see whose route we're on. We're not on a route yet, I forgot. I forgot we still have to do, there's the common route, and then there's the hero side common route. So we have to do the hero side common route. Oh, there's new stuff. Oh, okay, now we're at Tokio's route. Alright. I've completed a few more missions since the day of the attack. Although, to say I actually carried them out might be generous. A vector? I just can't do it! Anytime I saw a vector, I can't help but remember what happened back then, what I had to do to Lise. So now whenever I have to face one, I freeze. Thanks, Haruka.
君はもう少し下がって。私の影から援護してくれればいいから。
Okay. Right, got it. Ultimately, that meant Haruka and Kaori had to protect me whenever I was in battle. That was the best I could muster. The vector attacks persisted, their strikes growing in number and size. We often had to fight dozens of them at once. Yikes.
香り、右側から2匹来ますわ。うちが1匹引きつけるから、その隙に倒してや。
I looked over at Senna and Mocha, who were acting as backup for Kaori. They didn't appear to freeze up whenever they faced off against the vector.
はぁ陣営
Kaori and Haruka felled vectors left and right without hesitation, as per usual. I felt like they'd gotten more aggressive in battle because Senna, Mocha, and myself weren't as effective. I guess that's to be expected. More people will get hurt if we don't defeat the vectors. I know I have to fight to prevent any further casualties. I feel like I'm gonna hiccup, but I'm not. That's annoying. But my body refused to move, much to my chagrin. I envied Senna and Mocha for having no problems providing backup. I'd made up my mind to speak with all of them after receiving Aokuyashima's message, but I hadn't been able to do it yet. So I still had no idea what everyone was feeling. All I knew was that my guilt and impatience continued to confound me. I should talk to everyone today. I can't go on like this. Things can't be like they used to, but I at least want to do what Senna and Mocha are doing, and then hopefully... Distracted by my own problems, I failed to notice what was going on in the battle around me.
Amanai!
Huh? I looked up when I heard Haruka's voice and was met with a vector's claws in my face. Oh no! I'd already been feeling sluggish, and the vector was alarmingly fast. I closed my eyes, thinking I was done for.
Haruka!
Ah! Haruka leapt in front of the vector, taking the blow that was meant for me. Haruka, are you alright? Luckily, the creature's claws only grazed her and she wasn't bleeding. She hit the ground pretty hard, though. I tried to help her up, but Haruka groaned in pain. I'm sorry, this happened because I froze.
いいから、それより害獣が。香り、今や。はぁ
Kaori and Mocha jumped in to help, and Kaori swiftly delivered the killing blow to the vector. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem that we're freezing.
今のが最後の一匹みたいですわね。
People are gonna start getting upset with us. Just like Senna said, there didn't seem to be any more vectors. Thank goodness, now that the mission's over, we can get Haruka some rest. Yep, I breathed a sigh of relief, but soon heard an angry voice booming above me. I looked up and saw Kaori fuming. Yeah, we do.
あんた、どういうつもり？害獣が前に来ても避けることもしてなかったよね。
You're right. I'm sorry.
そもそも害獣が来たことにすら気がついてなかったように見えたけど、戦いの最中に何を考えてたの？
Oh, yellow.
あんたがぼーっとしてて怪我するなら自業自得。でも今回は仲間が代わりに怪我をした。この責任をどう取るつもり？
Zip, 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 Pookie. Hello, hello.
I knew Kaori was right and that anything I said would be nothing more than a pitiful excuse. The enormity of what I had done felt like a crushing weight. Haruka gently placed her hand on my shoulder.
大した怪我じゃないからそこまで言わなくていいよ、香織。ほら、もう立てる。任務が終わりなら戻ろう。
そうだね。話は戻ってからにしよう。
Although Haruka stepped in to mediate, it was clear that Kaori was going to pursue the issue later. We discussed my problematic actions when we returned to the command center.
ここのところ、あんたが任務に集中できてないのは知ってたよ。原因は分かってるから、今までは放っておいたけど。仲間に被害が出るなら話は別。こんなことが続くようなら、しばらく任務に来なくてもいいから。
She was much harsher than I thought she'd be, and I had nothing to say in response. Then, for some reason, Senna spoke up.
ちょっと待ってくださいな。確かに香織の言うことは正論ですけれど、この子は先日の件で心に大きな傷を負いましたわ。
Yeah.
ですからもうちょっとだけ優しくしてあげてもいいんじゃないかしら。
Yeah, don't be rude, Kaori.
だから今までも見守ってきたでしょ。任務から外れろっていうのも優しさのつもりだよ。
Kaori definitely shot down Senna's suggestion, which made me feel even worse. Kaori's right. If I'm just gonna cause trouble for the others, it's better I'm not here.
確かに任務から外れた方がこの子のためにもいいのかもしれないね。
はるか、怪我の具合はどう？
Kaori's tone showed how concerned she was. Haruka hadn't been present at the meeting because Ryo was patching her up. And Ryo was the one who answered Kaori's question.
手当ては終わってる。俺は医者じゃないから断言はできないが、内身だけで骨は折れていないと思う。
折れてたらさすがに自分でわかります。そういうことだから私はもう大丈夫だよ。
That's good.
話を戻すけど、今回はたまたま私が怪我をしたっていうだけで、これからも同じことが起こるかもしれない。
Yeah, but you guys have had a lot more time to come to terms with this whole vectors are actually people thing.
この子の精神状態が普通の状態じゃないなら、本人の意思とは無関係に連携が取れなくなったりすると思うし、この子だって自分のせいで誰かが傷ついたら余計に立ち直れなくなる。落ち着くまでは任務を休ませてもいいんじゃない？
Ayumu is actually being nice this route. That's surprising. I was not expecting that. Haruka was usually a bit taciturn, so the fact that she spoke so much now illustrated the gravity of the situation. Yeah, you're right. I'd be okay if it only affected me, but I can't stand someone else getting hurt in my place. I don't want to cause any more trouble. I think I was about to say I'd excuse myself from future missions, but then the commander spoke up. He'd been quiet this whole time.
ちょっと待った。彼女をチームから外すことは許可できないよ。彼女の事情はここにいる全員が分かってるんだから、しっかりフォローして。そのためのチームなんだからね。
Yeah, you think. The commander then turned to me.
それから君も一度は前に進もうと考えたからこそ任務に来ていたんじゃないのかな。だったらもう少し強くならないとね。それとも君の覚悟はここで投げ出せる程度のものだったのかい？
We've literally just been through a traumatic event. Like, really traumatic event. I realized something when the commander said that. It's true that Kaori and Haruka thought they were being kind to me. No, I don't like that. No, I don't like that either.
つまりこの子はこれからも任務を続ける。みんなでその席を追うってことだね。
I'm not liking that. Ooh. Kaori's tone had a darker edge than usual. I looked up in surprise, but she'd already started for the door.
香織、待って。
Haruka went after her, and I hesitated, wondering if I should do the same. We're gonna let her go. Okay, or not. I guess we have to go after her. Go after Kaori. I'll go too. Hostility would linger between us if I didn't go after Kaori, but right when I was about to call out to her, the commander stopped me.
僕が行ってくるよ。今日の任務はこれで終わり。みんなも適当に解散してね。
Okay. The commander left the room with Ryo following behind. It was just Senna, Mocha, and myself now. I managed to say something after a moment of awkward silence. I'm so sorry I caused trouble for you two. I've been wanting to ask you this, but don't you have any qualms about fighting the Vectors? I figured it was best to get out what'd been on my mind now. Senna and Mocha glanced at each other, then answered slowly, as if choosing their words carefully.
そうですわね。全くないと言えば嘘になりますけれど。でも私たちが害獣を倒さないとまた傷つく人が出るかもしれませんわ。
うちも目の前の害獣が人間だったのかもって考えたら嫌な気持ちにはなる。けどうちの場合は死ぬことは怖くないから。攻撃に躊躇して自分が殺されるようなことになっても諦められる。
Those feel like two very different answers.
誰かに迷惑かけたらあかんと思うけど自分に関してはそんな感じやから今まで通りっちゃ今まで通りやな。
You're not afraid of dying.
急におかしなこと言わないでくださいの。
Okay, at least that is being treated as an odd thing to say right at this moment. Apparently, Senna was also surprised by Mocha's response, but Mocha just waved her off.
うちのことはええやん。それより今はあんたのことやろ。
This is gonna be a, like a Collar X Malice K root sick, thing for Mocha. Mocha's gonna be putting herself in harm's way because she doesn't care, and we're gonna get angry at her. Okay, I've got that route figured out.
どうしたって一番しんどいのはあんたや。それはしゃあないんちゃう？指令もああ言ってたし、フォローはうちらがきっちりやったる。だからあんたは無理しすぎん程度に頑張ったらええんちゃうの？
I mean, yeah.
私もそう思いますわ。はるかももちろん香織だってあなたのことを心配してると思いますわよ。ただはるかが怪我をするなんて久しぶりでしたから、香織も動揺してつい言葉がきつくなったんじゃないかしら。
Yeah, but like lashing out. That was a little lashy.
あの二人仲ええよな。っていうか幼なじみやったっけ？
物心がつく頃からずっと一緒だって聞いたことがありますわ。超能力の訓練も一緒にやってたみたいですし。
親友を超えた特別な同志って感じかもしらんな。けどだからこそあんたの気持ちも分かってると思うし。
Interesting.
ええ、大切なお友達をあんな風に失わなければいけなかったあなたの辛さがわからないはずがないですわ。
そう考えると厳しいのはむしろ指令なんちゃう？香織は任務から外れてっていうのは優しさだって言ってたやん。
I reconsidered what Kaori and the commander said in light of Senna and Mocha's assessment and came to this conclusion. The commander might have been strict, but he's not wrong. I understand what Kaori meant, of course. I know he needs to take time to reflect. But leaving our mission would mean that I'm running away. Okay. Running away won't make the pain disappear. It'll always be with me until I overcome it myself. The commander knows that, which is why he didn't take me out.
乗り越えるか。
Mocha turned to me with concern in her eyes. I found I didn't have an immediate answer. I don't know, but I'm not going to run away. I might end up causing you all trouble, but I'm going to try my best not to. As I said that, I silently swore to myself that no one would get hurt in my place again. Interesting. We're really harping on the main character, our PTSD from losing Lise has not been touched upon as much in the previous routes, and I guess it's gonna be touched upon here. I'm gonna be tentatively... we may print speed some of this. The next day. My elective's next, I better get a move on. I stood up to go to my next class, but then hesitated. The pain I felt at school was different than when I was on a mission with the Blooms. I still can't believe Lise isn't here anymore. The academy started conducting regular evacuation drills to keep everyone alert, but no one can be that tense all the time. Yeah, well, that would be the PTSD. So it seemed like everyone else had returned to their old lives. My peers were back to happily chatting with each other in class.
授業終わったらどうする？買い物行きたいんだけど、付き合ってくれない？
It's like I'm the only one frozen in time. I'm being left behind, all alone. I get that there are others who are still suffering on the inside, but when I'm with everyone, I can't help but think of Lise, which causes me to distance myself from my classmates. I've decided to put more effort into my missions, but I can't bring myself to do that in my regular life. I started down the hallway to walk to my next class, but felt totally unmotivated. All I could think of was how Lise had also been taking that class and would have been there if not for what happened.
Hello? Hello. Okay. Thank you so much for being here, for all you could. I hope you are able to watch the VODs when you are done, so you can see my reactions to stuffs. Hello. Oh, okay. So apparently that I figured out that makes us advance. Okay. Thinking about Lise will probably always make me sad, but I need to try and calm down for now. I snapped out of it and stopped walking. It was probably better to just skip my class and go somewhere else. That said, I didn't have anywhere to go, so I just wandered the halls.
Ne.
I turned towards the voice and saw a familiar face. It's Tokio. He was looking directly at me, but I couldn't fathom why. We just talked a little bit after the attack, but that was just happenstance. He wouldn't want to actually talk to me, right? Just as I thought that, Tokio called to me directly.
ねえってば。あんたに話しかけてるんだけど。もしかして耳遠いの？
So he's talking to me, and could he be any ruder? But whatever, I don't have the energy to get mad right now. It'd been so long since I'd spoken to anybody at school that I didn't know what to say at first. I blinked for a few beats, then finally opened my mouth to speak.
Sorry, we've barely spoken, so I didn't think you were talking to me.
話したことがないと話しかけちゃいけないっていう理屈。意味がわからないんだけど。
Baby.
No, that's not what I meant. I was just surprised. I tried to make some excuse, but he didn't seem to care.
まあ、なんでもいいけど。ついてきなよ。
What? You want me to follow you?
俺以外に誰がいるの？
Tokio heaved a sigh. I had no clue what was going on. Tokio, we don't know that you're Kaori. I have a class right now, so I don't think I can go. Actually, don't you have class too?
俺もだけど、あんたもどうせ行く気なんてなかったでしょ。
Oops.
How did he know? The fact that he knew made me think he'd been watching me the entire time. Was I that out of it, or did my serious expression give it away? Either way, that's super awkward. It's like he saw right through me. Tokio noticed my hesitation and continued.
いいから来なよ。教室よりは居心地がいいはず。多分。
It'll be better than going to class, most likely. The way he spoke made it seem like he understood that I'd been feeling like I didn't belong here. I mean, we're gonna follow him. Since he'd already figured things out, I decided to give it a shot.
Alright, let's go.
じゃあ、こっち。
He started walking, but I noticed he made sure to match my stride so that I didn't lose sight of him. Well, that's kind of sweet. Tokio led me to a small room at the back of the chemistry lab. I've never been in here, but I did hear someone was using this room. But why'd he bring me here? I was trying to figure that out when Tokio offered an explanation.
ここ、俺の研究室。
You have a lab? But isn't this just a classroom?
当たり前でしょ。って、今のは俺の説明が悪かったか。
Uh-huh.
He continued on after seeing my surprise.
研究エリアにもちゃんとした研究室を持ってるけど、
Oh.
時間が惜しいから授業の合間にここでも研究を進めてるってこと。
Yeah, he has a laboratory in the research district, but he has one at school too. Oh, okay. That's that I was not expecting that at all.
授業で使ってない時には自由にしていいって先生から言われてるから、空き時間ができたらここに来ることにしてる。
Okay. Ah, so you're the one who's been in here. Hearing all this reminded me of how I heard that Tokio frequented the research district quite a bit, even though he's a student. So the rumors were true. Well, he is the smartest in our grade, after all.
ほら、これ見て。
Tokio shook me from my thoughts and beckoned me to the back of the room. Fish! As I approached, I saw something resembling a large fish tank. Is this some kind of aquarium? Are you researching water or fish or something?
水っていうか、環境の研究。水質を改善すれば環境にも影響が出るから。
I think that's kind of common sense.
ここでは水質を良くするための研究と実験をしてるんだ。
Okay. Sounds complicated. I didn't have the foggiest idea why Tokyo was showing me this, but it's not every day you see a giant fish tank, so I peeked inside.
面白い。
Sure. So is that device cleaning the water? So that device is cleaning the water. Yeah.
そうだよ。でも、あの装置だけできれいにしてるわけじゃない。水草や砂利とか、この水槽に存在してるすべてのものがそれぞれの役割を果たして、水質が保たれてるんだ。
You've created a tiny ecosystem, sir.
この水槽はいわば一つの世界みたいなものだから。
Yep. Its own world. The fish tank looked all the more special after that explanation. As I moved closer to get a better look, Tokyo pulled a chair up to the tank.
好きに見ていいよ。俺はここにいるから。あんた。
Tokyo then rubbed his eyes and sat down on the sofa. Thanks. Right as I took a seat, a tiny fish zipped past. Hey, that fish. Huh? I turned to Tokyo to ask a question, but let out an exclamation of surprise instead. He's asleep, isn't he? He looked fast asleep, even though we'd been talking only seconds before. That's my Earth Mother. She is out like a light as soon as possible. How do you fall asleep so fast? We were just talking. I wish I could fall asleep that fast. I stared at him for a moment, but it didn't seem like he would wake up on his own. Tokyo?
何?
I'm glad he woke up so quickly, but is he really that exhausted? I can leave if you're tired. Tokyo looked surprised at my suggestion.
疲れてるわけじゃないけど。
Do you have narcolepsy? But you fell asleep.
うん。あんたが水槽を見ている間は暇だから寝てた。
What? Okay. Oh, okay. I guess Tokyo's the kind of person who just does things his own way. Tokyo continued the conversation as I pondered his surprisingly unique sensibilities.
何か聞きたいことでもあった?
Oh, yeah, it was about the fish. But then I decided to ask what I really wanted to know about. Why did you show me the tank?
自然を見れば癒されると思ったから。あんたには気持ちを休めることが必要そうに見えた。
Oh my god. Why am I so yawny now?
My surprise reached a whole new level when he said that. Has he been worried about me since I told him about Lise? That all happened a while ago, so I didn't think anyone really cared anymore. You knew I've been having a hard time? I was a bit skeptical, but Tokyo nodded. Yeah.
知ってたよ。
Possibly, yeah. The ease and simplicity at which he admitted it felt more comforting than if he tried to dress it up. Thanks for trying to cheer me up. His ease also made it so I could express my gratitude frankly, which was a great relief. He wasn't wrong. I do feel better. It's been a while since I talked to someone at school. I always assumed Tokyo wasn't interested in getting to know the people around him, but he's actually really kind. He showed a side I never knew existed, and it made me want to talk to him more. It's been such a long time since I actually wanted to chat with someone like this. Does looking at nature make you feel better too?
まあそんな感じ。俺の両親は研究者で、俺と同じように環境改善の研究をしてる人たちなんだ。だから子供の頃から研究エリアには出入りしてて、人よりは自然に触れる機会も多かったと思う。まあ自然って言っても人工のだけど。
Artificial nature? Artificial? You mean like the tank?
うん、そう。
I mean, yeah, I could see how you would refer to that as artificial nature.
子供の時、嫌なこととかあっても、水や緑を見たら落ち着いたんだ。
You know, same. I do like watching fishies. They're very relaxing. I see. So that's why you wanted to research the environment too.
きっかけはそう。ただ好きっていうか、気になったっていうか。
Oh?
ああ、でも一番気になるものは他にあるよ。
Oh? Oh, really? I can tell he's passionate about his research just by looking at the tank. What else could he be interested in? Tokio's eyes shined with pure excitement as he explained what he meant.
空。
Oh.
特に青空。
Oh, the sky. That's right. We live under a simulated sky.
いくら人工的に自然を作り出しても、これは本物じゃないっていう思いが頭の片隅にずっとあったんだ。それである時親に本物を見てみたいって言ってみたら写真集をくれた。
Okay. Of artificial nature?
うん。昔シータの外でも人間が生きられた頃の風景を収めた写真集だよ。
I was under the... Well, I guess maybe that wasn't that long ago.
緑も大地も綺麗だったけど、俺は何より一番青空に惹かれたんだ。もちろんそれも写真の中の青空だったから本物を見たとは言えないんだけど、それでもシータの空とは全然違う。あんたさ、配線のない青空って想像できる？
Probably not if we've lived under the one with electrical lines our whole life. Without any? I attempted to envision what Tokio described, but no matter how hard I tried, I could only picture the artificial sky above us. I can't even imagine what it'd be like.
俺も写真でしか見たことがないからはっきり言えるわけじゃないけど、シータの空はよくできてると思う。ただ同じものを繰り返し映し出してるだけだから変わり映えがしない。
I would think that they would at least throw in a little bit of random cloud generation.
でも本物の空はいつ見ても違うんだ。写真集の中でさえ同じ空は一つとしてなかった。
Yeah, I mean also with a real sky you get thunderstorms and stuff like that.
雲の形も細かったり丸かったりちぎれてたり、空の青さも同じ青でも濃淡があって、
The color of the sunset also changes. Tokio spoke with such heated enthusiasm, it's like he forgot I was there. He's really passionate about this. I watched with rapt attention as he expressed this whole other side of him, but then he saw me and started regaining his composure.
とにかく俺は写真で青空を見た日から自分のことがちっぽけに思えたんだ。
So cute.
シータの中で研究してるだけで十分だと思ってたのに、もっと新しいことが知りたくなった。俺の世界があの日から変わったんだ。だからそれが俺の経験。
That's really sweet.
Oh, right. We were talking about how nature calms you.
だいぶそれちゃったけど。
All good. I am the prince of going off topic.
俺の場合、初めは研究室にある小さな自然で、その後青空に興味を持って癒されたっていうか、心が動いたって感じだけど、 だから自然には人の気持ちをいい意味で変えてくれるような効果がある気がしてるんだ。
Oh, he's actually being extremely sweet. And that's the reason you showed me the fish tank.
この水槽も本物の自然とはちょっと違うけど、あんたは単純っぽいし、
Rude.
これでも十分効果があると思ったんだ。
Thank you, but rude. That sounds like an insult. For some reason, Tokio seemed proud of himself, so I made my annoyance clear, but he just smiled back at me.
でも実際元気にはなったんじゃない？少なくとも怒る元気は出たでしょ。
True. He then flashed me a sweet smile and all my anger melted away. You're easy to talk to. You know, you're pretty easy to talk to. Tokio's eyes grew wide with surprise.
話しやすいなんて初めて言われた。
Aww.
逆は何度もあるけど。
Aww.
でも俺もあんたのことを話しやすいと思ってるのかも。青空の話なんて誰にもしたことなかったし。
Aw, baby. Really? It was nice of him to say I was easy to talk to, but I was more touched by how he shared something with me he hadn't told anyone else. I'm actually feeling good. Is it because I was able to have an actual conversation with a classmate again? I hadn't felt this happy since Lise passed away, but it was also kind of confusing.
どうしたの？
Tokio peered at my face. He must have noticed my mood had sunk, so I quickly put on a smile. I was just thinking that I feel happy. I'm glad we could talk like this.
そっか。俺も話せてよかったって思ってるよ。
Hey, can I come back here if I'm ever feeling down again? I hadn't meant to ask that question. It just slipped out because I felt so relieved by what Tokio said. But my fears that I was getting carried away turned out to be unfounded.
いいよ。あんたの笑った顔も久しぶりに見られたし、俺は全然構わない。
Oh?
あんたは笑ってる方がいいよ。
Oh.
けどこのことは他の人には言わないで。普段は自分の研究を見せたりしないから。
My lips are sealed.
あと青空の話も。
Is he blushing? I think he's blushing a little bit. No worries, I won't say a word. I readily agreed. It's not like I had anyone to tell anyway. Then I heard the door open.
Tokyo, いるのか?
I heard Ayumu call out as he entered the room.
ああ、やっぱりここにいた。お前また授業をサボったんだな。
俺にとっては受けても意味ないやつだったからいいんだよ。
Tokyo.
科学か。確かにTokyoは教わるまでもなく分かってる内容だと思うけど、
Yeah.
お前がサボるとなぜか僕に苦情が来るんだよ。全然授業に出てくれないとか、出ても寝てるとか。
Amazing.
俺に直接言えばいいのにね。歩も毎回ご苦労様。
That's hilarious.
苦労をかけてるのはお前だ。まったく。言いたくてもお前が全然捕まらないって倉森先生は嘆いてたぞ。
Oh, Tokyo, are you being a troublemaker? I think Tokyo's being a troublemaker.
そんなことないと思うけど。ところで歩こそ授業は？
Busted.
もう終わったよ。
Oh, never mind.
チャイムが鳴ったの気がつかなかったのか？
Hearing Ayumu said that, I looked at the clock and saw it was indeed time for classes to end.
それで何してたんだ？ここにいるなら研究でもしてるのかと思ったんだけど、そんな感じには見えないね。
今日は特別。授業より優先だったのは間違いないよ。
Aww. Really? Was he that worried about me? Ayumu's sudden entrance and Tokyo's comment both caught me off guard. Ayumu then turned to me.
確か2年の
Yes, I'm Prince Takanashi from 2A.
高梨さん。うん、覚えたよ。
Oh, okay.
もしかしてTokyoが強引に連れてきたんじゃない？悪かったね。
No, it was nice. Oh, no, that's not what happened. Tokyo was just worried about me. I didn't know what to say, so I gave a benign response. Tokyo then moved between us.
まあそういうことだから。 歩夢はこの子じゃなくて俺に用があるんでしょ。何？
Interesting. You're not here. He literally just said you're not here for her, you're here for me. So what is it?
ああ、それなんだけど。
I'll leave you to it then. Thanks again, Tokyo. It seemed like they needed to discuss something in private, so I stood up to leave. Ayuma didn't say anything more to me.
またね。
I wondered if we really would hang out again, but I couldn't stay any longer, so I left the room. Do we get to see what they talk about? Nope, we don't. I returned to the dorm that night, feeling like I finally had some good news for Uncle Yashima for the first time in a while. Since Lise passed away, I've only told Uncle Yashima things that would make him worry about me. But today, I could tell him that I got to talk with Tokyo and that he managed to cheer me up. I opened a new message and began typing, thinking about how to phrase everything. Something good happened today. A classmate noticed I was feeling down and came to talk to me. But I promised Tokyo I wouldn't tell anyone what we discussed, so I decided to gloss over those details and focus on my feelings. It really lifted my spirit when he said I could go there again. Wait a minute. Thinking about what Tokyo said, I realized something was off. Tokyo said he hasn't seen me smile in a while. Well, how would he notice something like that? We didn't talk much at all before. The only thing I could think of was after the attack. And I certainly wasn't smiling then, so when did Tokyo ever see me smile? Maybe he saw me sometime when I was talking to Lise? Similarly, him saying that what happened today took priority over class was odd as well. Why did he say that? Does he think about me more than I thought? But that just made me feel a bit too conceited, so I shook the thoughts away and tried to think of another explanation. I should just let it go. I doubt I'll figure it out anyway. Well, little do we know. That's a fellow Bloom. Once again, he knows who we are. We don't know who he is. I bet I'll be the last one. The evening of the next day, the Blooms had been summoned to the command center, so I was rushing over. It took me longer than usual to get there because I'd gotten the message after I'd returned to the dorm. Yeah, people are already here, but not everyone? It's just Kaori and Haruka. I heard their voices behind the door and waffled over whether to enter. Things were so awkward when we last saw each other. I should really talk with them before the mission. I seized the door handle, but didn't have the courage to enter with confidence, so I slowly eased the door open instead. I slipped into the room without being seen. Kaori and Haruka, who had their backs to the door, didn't notice me.
そんなものばかり食べてちゃダメだよ。
Oh?
これで栄養は取れるし、十分でしょ。
They were looking at a container in Kaori's hand. I wasn't familiar with what it was, but I gathered from their conversation that they were talking about some sort of nutrition bars.
それは栄養を補助するだけのものだよね。食事はちゃんと食べないと体が持たないよ。任務が終わったら一緒に食堂に行こう。
食堂なんて任務が終わったら閉まってるよ。そもそも食べるのがめんどくさいからこれ作ったんだけど。
Understandable. Eating is a bit of a hassle.
はあ、こうなることは分かりきってたのに、作る時に止めればよかった。
Haruka sounds a bit different. Maybe it's because it's just her and Kaori? Sena and Mocha did say they had been close since they were kids, so perhaps that's why they're so comfortable with each other. I'm basically eavesdropping on them at this point. It might be awkward, but I should say something. I couldn't let things stay the way they were between us, so I decided to try and make amends. Kaori, Haruka, I'm sorry about the other day.
君、いつの間に。
もう、はるかがうるさいから気がつかなかったんだよ。
うるさいんじゃなくて、香りのことを気にかけてる。心配して言ってるのに。
They really do fight like good friends. It looked like they were going to start their conversation again, so I hurriedly interjected. I'm going to try my best again today, so I hope I have your support. They looked at each other in silence, causing me to feel uneasy. Haruka then smiled at Kaori.
ねえ、これなら食堂が空いてるうちに帰れそう。
うん、そうかも。食事するのは面倒だけど、任務がスムーズに進むのは助かるよ。
Okay, I don't get the cause and effect there, but alright. What? I had no clue what they were talking about, but then they suddenly turned their attention back to me.
謝るのはこっちもだから。この間は変な感じでいなくなっちゃって。
私も言い過ぎた。こっちこそ、またよろしくね。
I was not expecting an apology from the both of them. Appreciated. I felt so relieved when the two of them smiled at me I could have cried.
仲直りしたんですの？よかったですわね。もう大丈夫そうやな。
Aww. Senna and Mocha had arrived. They each gave me a friendly pat on the shoulder, which finally caused my tears to burst forth.
なんや、あんた泣いてるやん。大丈夫ですの？
Yeah, just relieved. Kaori and Haruka accepted me despite my problems, and Senna and Mocha had been so supportive. When I expressed my appreciation, my thoughts wandered to Tokio as well. I got the courage to talk to Kaori and Haruka because of what happened yesterday. Tokio was so considerate. He made me feel worlds better. Uh-huh. It had been a week since my reconciliation with Kaori, and I'd been able to carry out a few missions without issue. I felt like I was finally moving forward and was grateful to Tokio for steering me in the right direction. He wasn't in class, so he's probably here. During my break, I decided to look for Tokio and headed to the small room he always used. I quietly opened the door and peeked inside. Oina! Hello! He's asleep. Of course he is. I was right, but is he sleeping again? He said he wasn't tired when I was here last. Maybe he just likes to sleep? I crept in silently, not wanting to wake him. That's when a container sitting next to him caught my eye. Yep. This container looks awfully familiar, and so do those nutrition bars. Where have I seen them before? Oh, right. I think Kaori was eating the same thing before. The bars look identical. Tokio must have sensed my presence, as his eyes popped open when I was looking at the container.
何？もう辛くなったの？
When did this man get glasses? When did this man get glasses? I feel like that was wow. I wasn't expecting that. Hello, sir. He said I could come by whenever I felt down, so he must have thought that's why I was here. I quickly clarified for him. No, that's not it. I wanted to thank you. I felt so much better after we talked. Everything hurts a little less. Yeah. I wasn't expecting glasses. I was able to focus on what I needed to, so I just wanted to say thanks. Hey.
やっぱりあんたは単純だね。
You're calling me that again? You're seriously calling me that again? If that's the only thing you can say, then I'd say you're pretty simple as well. All I wanted to do was express my gratitude, but he just insulted me again, so I decided to fight fire with fire. But my attempt didn't faze Tokio at all.
俺は単純なわけじゃなくて、思ったままを言ってるだけだよ。あんたはこの間も今日も似たようなことをしてる。俺がやったことをあっさり受け入れて、笑ったり。自分の悩みが晴れたのは俺のおかげだって簡単に結論付けたり。
Well, yes, how else would you like me to phrase it?
そういうところを見て、単純って感想が出てくるのは、ごく自然なことだと思う。
What? But I guess I see what he's saying. Do you? I don't. But doesn't he get that he's being insulting? He spoke like he was explaining a problem, which made me question my reaction.
あと、俺はあんたを怒らせようと思って言ったわけじゃないから。あんたがムッとしてる理由はよくわからないけど、俺はあんたが明るくなってよかったって思ってるし。
Alright, sweetie. His tone was so gentle that I couldn't stay angry for long. His choice of words definitely needs work, but I'm sure he didn't mean any harm. I'm starting to understand your thought process here. I'll try not to get so bothered by it. Besides, I just remembered something. Being simple isn't all bad. I know I wear my emotions on my sleeve, but one of my friends told me that means I'm honest. So I'll assume that's how you see me, Tokio.
ああ、うん。俺もそんな感じで言った。
Oh, sweetheart.
そっか。素直ならムッとしないんだ。
Yeah, because honest doesn't have such a bad connotation as simple does. Tokio looked like he'd cracked a particularly hard puzzle, and I couldn't help but laugh. It'd make me happy. You can say that whenever you think I'm simple.
わかった。ところで、あんたのことを素直だって言った友達ってさ。
We'd been chatting and laughing, so I was able to answer without feeling too upset. Yeah, she was. She always saw the best in me and made sure to let me know. She helped me so much in the past just by doing that. Do you have a best friend?
いるよ。この間、あんたもここで会ったでしょ。間宮歩む。
Oh, Oh, so you're close with the council president.
まあね。ちょっと口うるさいところはあるけど、俺のことを考えて言ってるのは分かってるし。
Aww.
でもまあ、やっぱりうるさいかな。
Tokio mumbled that last bit to himself, but his tone remained warm, which signaled to me that the two were very close.
それがどうかした？
Well, I thought he might be concerned about my feelings because he is a best friend himself. There didn't seem to be any other explanation as to why he'd care about me, but it still felt like a stretch. I should just ask him directly, but I'm afraid to be so blatant about it. It's not the easiest thing to ask. No reason, I was just curious. My courage failed me in the end, so I quickly changed the subject. We chatted some more, and as I looked around the room, my eyes landed on the container next to Tokio. Oh, I meant to ask you about that container. Someone I know had one too. Are you... I thought that maybe the nutrition bar was popular and tried to ask if he was into them, but Tokyo's expression suddenly changed. Huh? Before I knew what was happening, Tokyo grabbed my arm and peered in my face.
いつから？
What? He pulled me toward him. We were so close our faces almost touched. What? He's way too close! My face flamed with embarrassment as Tokyo stared intently at me. What do you mean? What do you mean since when? What are you talking about? I desperately wanted to get out of this situation, but Tokyo remained utterly calm and simply nodded.
どういう意味か。なるほど。
He wants to know if we figured out his secret identity.
確かにあんたは表情に全部出るね。
Sir, you can't look at me like that with the glasses on. That's doing crazy things to my heart. Tokyo flashed me a relief smile and let go of my arm. What was that all about? Why'd you suddenly do that? Tokyo picked up the container calmly while I was still busy panicking.
このサプリメント、研究の合間に食べるのにちょうどいいから、いちいち食事に時間を割かれるのは面倒だから。
He didn't answer my question at all. I contemplated asking him again, but just thinking about that whole ordeal was embarrassing enough. By that point, Tokyo was looking at the fish tank as if nothing had happened, so I gave up pursuing the subject further. We were really close to figuring it out there. That night, we received word of a vector sighting, so the blooms were summoned to the command center. Looks like I'm the first one here today. I knew the others would arrive soon, so I watched the entrance. As I waited, Kaori came in first. What's with that awkward look? Huh? Did I do something to make her mad? I tried to think back, but nothing came to mind. I've done well in the missions recently, and there hasn't been any other weirdness between us. Maybe I did something without even realizing it? If I keep thinking about this, it'll affect my performance during the mission again. The other members had trickled into the command center by this point, so I focused my attention on the mission. Well, Kaori's figuring out that we might have figured it out, but we actually haven't figured it out, so Kaori is just psyching herself out. Today's mission was running smoothly so far. I'm not as scared as before, even when a vector is right in front of me. I was only partially successful at keeping Lise out of my mind, but I felt my mindset had shifted. We're gonna concentrate on support. Better not get overconfident. I should focus on providing support. With renewed resolve, I watched Kaori and Haruka's movements on the battlefield. They'd already cornered a few vectors, so Mocha and I worked together to take them down.
あんたは左、うちは右から行く。正面には立たんように気ぃつけてな。
Alright, roger that!
二人とも助かった。遅延。
There we go, blessings. Haruka circled around and finished off the vectors.
うまくやれたやん。今日は調子が良さそうやね。
Nice. Thanks. We made quick work of the rest of the vectors without issue.
これで最後ですわ。
Kaori went after the vector Senna indicated. After she defeated it, we didn't sense any more in the vicinity.
うまくいきましたわね。
Yay!
最近の中では一番迅速に終わったんじゃないかしら。
Yahoo! Senna smiled at all of us. We breathed a sigh of relief and started commending each other's performance.
ほんまやね。はるかの攻撃の威力は相変わらずやけど、狙いもいつも以上に正確やったな。
にゃー。
みんなが一箇所に害獣を集めてくれたから、すごくやりやすかった。
Nice.
あんたもよく頑張ったね。
Kaori nodded to me, and my heart overflowed with joy as I thought about what happened today. Thanks. I'm gonna keep giving it my all. I gave her a broad smile and she returned one in kind.
あんたはやっぱり笑ってる方がいいよ。
Sir? Oh, yeah? What's this strange feeling? Something about Kaori's face seemed off, but then she started as if she realized she'd made some kind of mistake. Huh? Kaori, is something wrong?
なんでもない。
Kaori! How far in are we actually? Bow chart? How did we unlock the bad end without actually getting there? But okay, well, we're at 2-1. It didn't seem like nothing, but Kaori quickly turned away and hurried off. I just stayed where I was staring after her. She said she knew it'd be nice to see me smile more. I think someone else said something like that to me recently. The whole exchange bothered me a bit, but I couldn't remember anything conclusive. Man, Kaori, you are scraping by the skin of your teeth. Simply by the fact that we're dumbass. After finishing the mission, I returned to my dorm and started up my computer to message Uncle Yashima as usual. What should I write today? I can't talk about the mission, but there must be something else. I went to think Tokio earlier, and then an image of Tokio's face inching closer to mine flashed through my cheeks, bringing a blush to my cheeks. There we go.
いつから?
Yep, since when? Why did he do that? He said my emotions were obvious, but how obvious are we talking here? I thought over the conversation we'd had just prior, but I didn't say anything strange. Tokio was the one acting all weird. It happened when we were talking about the nutrition bars. I remember the Kaori... Wait. Tokio and Kaori. Thinking of those two together made me realize something. Kaori said she made the nutrition bars herself, didn't she? Would Kaori give her homemade bars to someone else? Even if she did, I can only imagine she'd give them to a close friend, but I've never seen those two interact at all. Speaking of, when I wrote to Uncle Yashima the other day, I was thinking about Tokio. I'd been wondering how he'd know that I hadn't been smiling much, and then today, Kaori told me she knew it'd be nice to see my smile more. Something bothered me about her phrasing, that she knew. Before that attack happened, I think I smiled pretty often when I was with the Blooms. But if that's what she was referring to, isn't it weird for her to say she knew since she's already seen me? I thought carefully about what Tokio and Kaori said and had a sneaking suspicion that there was something connecting them. No, it can't be, but it seems impossible, but it's also the only explanation. We're emotionally smart, but we're a little bit book stupid. If that's what I suspect, it'll be faster to just ask. We can have a good laugh over it if it turns out I'm wrong. I'll talk to Tokio tomorrow. About the Blooms? We literally know that we can't. We can't talk to anybody outside the Blooms about the Blooms. Hello, Tastiest. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're having a good day, too. I'm having an alright day. Did a lot of housework, and I am excited to play some more. To be playing some more Paradigm Paradox. We're almost, after we finish this route, we'll be 3/8 of the way done with this game. This game is going by so fast. Like, honestly, it's flying. It's flying past. But, I guess anything compared to Amnesia probably feels like it's super short. Amnesia was way too long. The next day, during lunch, I stilled my resolve and left the classroom. Alright, let's see what Tokio has to say. He wasn't in class, so that means... He's not here. I looked for Tokio everywhere, but I couldn't find him. I sighed when I realized I had been subconsciously putting off checking the most likely place he'd be. Yeah, I was gonna say, we know he's where he usually is. Why did we not go there first? Yeah, oh my gosh. I was upset. I was pretty upset when when we got to the end of, Birushana and Fire Emblem Engage. I really liked Fire Emblem Engage. But yeah, Birushana, I was like, no, give me more. I want more boys. More of my boys. But no. No more boys currently. Well, they have a fan disc. There is a fan disc of Birushana out, but it's not localized, so... gotta wait for that. I guess I'm scared to find out, but I have to get rid of this unsettled feeling, so I just need to do it. Yep, there he is. I peeked inside the small room and saw Tokio sitting on the sofa. He wasn't asleep this time. Rather, he looked like he was daydreaming. I called out to him as I entered the room. Tokyo.
ああ、来たんだ。
It sounded like he was expecting me from the way he said that, so I went ahead and asked my question. There's something I want to ask you.
うん。何？
Are you Kaori's brother? Are you Kaori's brother? Tokyo, are you Kaori's brother? I couldn't believe the conclusion I'd come to, so I attempted to avoid it entirely. Tokyo stared blankly at me.
ここまで来てそんなとぼけたこと言うの？
Well,
あんたって素直なだけじゃなくて、ちょっと抜けてるところもあるんだね。
now that I know every time he's saying honest, he's thinking simple, I just can't take him seriously. Wait, I wanted to ask something else, but I didn't have the confidence.
なら、本当に言いたかったことは何？
I couldn't avoid it any longer, so I said what I was thinking. I just have to ask, Tokyo, are you Kaori?
そうだよ。
Well, he didn't avoid it. For some reason, Tokyo was way calmer than I was, even though I was the one who pointed it out.
一応、機密事項だから黙っていようと思ったけど、
Well,
俺もヘマしたし。
for it being confidential info, we kind of gave our full name to everybody earlier in the route, so,
バレちゃったなら、潔く認めるよ。
Messed up. Are you talking about those nutrition bars?
そうだね。あとは、俺が言ったことを香織も言っちゃったし。
Yes, you did.
昨日、香織と話した時に気がついたんでしょ？
Yep, that's when he...
あんたは、笑ってる方がいいよ。
Yeah, yes, understood that conversation. I nodded, and that was the phrase that made me realize what was going on. That's right, but I couldn't be sure until you confirmed it. Actually, I can hardly believe it regardless. So if that's the case, are the other members boys too? Other questions popped up for me as we continued talking, and I decided to ask them straight away.
機密事項だって言っただろ。
Well,
だから教えるつもりはないよ。
aw, but we're all part of the Blooms. Why won't you tell me?
倉森先生はあんたに教えてないだろ。だから言わない方がいいんだと思ってた。
Yeah, that's true, but I guess I just feel left out. I thought I sounded a bit like a petulant child, but Tokyo's demeanor softened.
別に俺はそんなつもりじゃなかったよ。
You tell me about Haruka, aren't you?
まあ、気になるなら一人だけ教えておく。
You only know Haruka. As we learned, Haruka and Tokyo know that each other is a Bloom. They don't know who Senna and Mocha is, and Senna and Mocha don't know who each other is, or about Kaori and Haruka.
どうせ関係性からバレると思うし。
Yeah.
歩夢も俺と同じだよ。
Yep. Like you, Mamiya's in the Blooms, huh? Is in the Blooms? Huh, so he transforms into a girl too. Though I was surprised it didn't take much thought to know exactly who he meant. Does that mean he's Haruka?
そう。
He acknowledged it so easily that it was all the confirmation I needed. Now that I think about it, Kaori and Haruka talk and act the same way Tokyo and Ayumu do when they're together. You two are exactly the same around each other.
うん。しっかり隠そうと思ってたわけじゃないから、
Yeah.
会話もほぼ普段通りにしてた。他の二人は俺たちのこと知ってるし、
Oh, they do know?
あんたに対しても、あえて言う必要はないけど、バレたら言おうくらいの気持ちはあったよ。
Well, that's nice, I guess.
それに、倉森先生があんたに教えなかった理由も、俺なりに想像してみると、別にマイナスな意味じゃないと思う。
Oh? Oh, really?
あんた自身は超能力を持った時点で驚くことがありすぎただろ。
True.
多分いっぺんに説明しても混乱するだけだと思ったんじゃないかな。
Okay. I thought about what he said back when I didn't even know about the vectors and I was preoccupied with learning about my powers. If I was told that the girls were actually boys, I probably would have had a heart attack. Would we have? I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right.
それにあんたは今のところ
Yeah.
副作用が何も出てないみたいだしね。
Probably.
余計に説明するタイミングがなかったのかも。
Wait, so transforming into a girl is a side effect of using your powers? The revelation shocked me, but Tokyo just looked exasperated.
当たり前だろ。理由もなくわざわざ女性化する必要なんかないし、
No benefit.
何のメリットもないよ。
That's true.
けど あんたが現れてよかったよ。
Tokyo's tone had changed, and when I turned to him, I saw that he looked excited.
超能力を使うと性別が逆
Oh,
転するこ
I'm
と
a new
は
data point.
超能力者全員に出る副作用だと俺は。だからあんたの出現は俺にとってもすごく興味深い出来事だった。
Yeah? Yeah. Well, us bigender people get powers too.
超能力にも個性があるように副作用にも個性があるんだろうな。
Oh, okay, that makes sense about why Senna and Haruka's reaction to using too much of their power makes sense. That it's different now.
でもまさか性別の逆転まで個人差があるなんて
I get the powers of
考えてもみなかったよ。
The most OP power of all, the power of cuteness.
サンプルが少なすぎるけどあんたが例外で俺たちがスタンダードって考えるのが自然だろうな。
Yeah, I'm the exception to the rule.
だとしたらもっとあんたのことを調べてみて。
Tokyo spoke rapid fire about my situation, but he wasn't looking at me at all. It was the same way he talked when he described the fish tank in the sky. I get that Tokyo might be interested in me, but this is... Tokyo, there's something I've been wanting to ask you for a while.
何？
Tokyo was totally calm, which signaled that he didn't sense any unease in my voice. Why did you bring me here the other day? You told Ayumu that I took priority over class, but what did you mean?
意味？動機が知りたいってことなら
Uh-oh.
倉森先生指令に言われたからだよ。指令は俺とあんたが微妙な感じになった時に
Uh-oh.
俺のことを追いかけてきただろ。あの時に言われたんだ。このままじゃブルームズの任務に影響が出るからどうにかするようにって。
Yikes.
そのためにはブルームズの先輩である俺の方から歩み寄らなきゃダメだって。
Ah. Oh! Happy birthday, General! I hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful birthday! Exciting, exciting.
そんな風に言われたからどうすればいいか考えたんだ。
Yo.
俺たちの仲っていうかあんたの様子がおかしくなったのは
Oh,
あの
Tokyo.
一件が原因なのは分かりきってた。
Oh, Tokyo, that's not good.
だからといってあんたの身に起きたことを
Hypnosis!
例えば俺のマインドオペレートを使って忘れさせるのはさすがに今回の解決策としては違うと思ったんだ。
Yeah, that's highly unethical.
それでとにかく明るい気持ちにさせれば解決につながるんじゃないかと仮説を
Well,
立ててみた。
right, so we were thinking that he's just super sweet. You theorized. Tokyo talked about our situation like he was solving a formula, which made me immensely uncomfortable. He heard what I said, but he didn't seem to pick up on how I felt. He just kept going.
でも仮説は仮説。
Well,
証明するにはその説を裏付けるようなことを実行してみないといけなかった。そのために俺ができることを考えたらここに連れてくることくらいしか思いつかなかったんだ。正直うまくいくか自信はなかったんだけどあんたが素直だったから助かったよ。ブルームズの任務にももう影響はなさそうだから安心した。
yikes. You're relieved? Because the mission won't be affected? That's really what you think? I managed to choke out the words, though they sounded harsh. It was as if all my feelings came pouring out. Human emotions aren't so simple. I'm not all right at all. Tokyo finally ascertained that something was wrong, and he looked at me skeptically.
でもあんたは前と同じくらいに戦えるようになってる。俺のしたことがいい結果につながったと思ってたんだけど。
Yikes.
違ったの？
Yikes.
それとも水槽を見せたくらいじゃ効果が弱かった？
Nope.
でも俺にできることって言ったらもう。
No, that's not it. What I'm trying to say is that I don't want you to talk about me like that. I don't want you to talk about me like I'm some kind of test subject. I'd interrupted him rather harshly, so Tokyo's reply was filled with irritation.
被験者扱いしたつもりはないよ。 俺はただあんたの心を回復させるのに一番効果的なのは何か考えただけだ。ブルームズの任務に支障が出たらまた一般市民が傷つくかもしれない。そうなる前に早急に手を打つ必要があったからすぐに実行に移した。
Sir, you just took all of the goodwill that we had built up for you and threw it in the trash can and then set it on fire.
あんただってあのままじゃダメだって思ってただろ。俺の行動はあんたのためになったはずだ。それなのになんで責められるような言い方をされなきゃいけないんだ。
I'm not blaming you for anything. I stopped myself from saying the extra words. I realized I was feeling I was ashamed. What made me happy before was thinking that Tokio was trying to understand my feelings. I thought he'd seen I wasn't doing well and cared enough to do something about it, but now it seems it wasn't true. He was given an order as a member of the Blooms, as Kaori. That's the only reason why he sought me out. In that light, what Tokio did wasn't all that special. Not only that, but he just talked about whether it was effective or not and remained completely oblivious to my feelings. I feel like such a fool. I wish you weren't, Kaori. The words slipped out unintentionally, so they were harsher than I meant. But there was a marked shift. There was a marked shift and the atmosphere in the room grew hostile.
それどういうつもりで言ってるの？
Just what I said. If I knew I was going to feel this way, it would have been better for you to leave me alone.
は？意味がわからないんだけど。まさか頑張るって言ってたのに気が変わったなんて言うんじゃないよね。
Oh my goodness. I didn't have the energy to respond to Tokyo, so all I could do is shake my head.
悪いけど俺にはあんたが甘えてるようにしか見えないよ。
Oh my god.
これ以上俺にはどうすることもできない。
I felt like he was trying to push me away, so I finally snapped back at him. I'm not. You wouldn't understand. How would you feel if your best friend turned into a vector and you had to kill that person with your own hands? There's no way you could understand what that feels like. I shouted with all my anguish, but Tokyo just responded quietly.
俺だって想像くらいはしてみたよ。想像してあんたが辛い思いをしたんだろうってことくらいは分かってる。でも同じ気持ちが分かるかって言われたらそれは無理かもしれない。俺は害獣の攻撃で傷を負ったら害獣になることをずっと前から知ってたから。
I knew it wouldn't stay happy for a while,
任
but
務の中で仲間の誰かが害獣になったとしても俺は冷静に倒すことができる。例えばそれが歩むでもね。ずっとそういうシミュレーションはしてきたから。だから
Oh my
俺にはあんたの
god.
それでも俺なりに考えてあんたのためになるように行動したつもりだけど、あんたは俺に何をさせたいの？
The more he talked, the more I couldn't bear to listen to him. I can't take this anymore. I can't stand hearing him be so cold. It's fine. I don't want anything from you. I don't have any expectations from someone that's so cold-hearted.
何それ？
Tokyo started to say something else, but after I said my piece, I turned my back to him and ran away. Oh, sorry. I bolted out of the hallway, ran smack into someone. I looked up, saw that was a Yumu.
僕は平気だけど君こそ大丈夫？
No. Oh, after he said that, I realized I had tears in my eyes, so I wiped them away. I'm okay. He clearly saw that I was upset, but I can't bring myself to tell him what happened. I vaguely remember that Ayumu was Haruka, but my desire to flee was overpowering. I slipped past Ayumu and took off down the hallway. Yeah, we can see
何があっ
that.
た？
別に。
何もないって感じじゃなかったけどな。まあいいよ。話したくないんだろ。
I'm interested to see if they talk about it.
話したくないっていうより話したくてもわけがわからない。
Oh, it's almost... Oh, I just realized it's almost Kentish.
わけがわからないか。確かに時雄の手に余りそうな感じはしたよ。彼女の様子を見てるとね。
ほんとわからないよ。こんなにわからない問題は初めてかも。はあ、
We have another problem of can't read social cues. I returned to my dorm after school, but I couldn't remember what happened to my afternoon classes. I could get Tokyo out of my mind. Actually, it was more like I couldn't stop thinking about what I said and being embarrassed about it. Looking back on the situation calmly, I recognized that I took my anger out on Tokio. I had this one-sided hope and then felt betrayed, but that was just in my head. I said such horrible things to him. Tokio didn't do anything wrong. Whatever his motive, he was kind to me. When I considered all that, it struck me just how alone I was. I think I felt as happy as I did when Tokio helped me because I was so lonely. It really lifted my spirits when he talked to me about the sky. He told me not to tell anyone else, and it felt like our little secret. I thought it was a sign we'd grown closer, but it turned out I was mistaken, and that was heartbreaking to me. From what he explained today, he was just doing it so that the blooms wouldn't be affected. But then I misunderstood him and accused him of being cold-hearted. He's probably disgusted with me. It would be awkward to face both Tokio and Kaori at this rate. I tried to think of ways to resolve this, but it wasn't that simple. You know, I should message Uncle Yashima to get a fresh perspective. I turned my computer and pulled up my email. Uncle Yashima is someone with whom I can always share my feelings and be vulnerable. It's partly because he's been giving me advice for a long time, though I can't see his face over email. I felt thankful for that fact right now and began composing with a message. Dear Uncle Yashima, I'm sorry to be writing you with more issues, but I don't think I can solve the problem myself, so I hope to get your advice. You told me previously to look for someone I could be close to, but I don't think I can do that anymore. I avoided talking about the blooms and rather explained how I made assumptions and ended up blaming someone else. He probably won't respond today, but I hope he does before I go to school tomorrow. I held on to that hope as I hit send, then turned in for the night. The next morning, I woke up and checked my computer first thing. Guess he hasn't replied yet. But it wouldn't be good to go to school while I'm feeling like this. Maybe I should wait a little longer. Still hasn't come. I waited until the very last minute I could, but never got a reply. I can't skip school without a good reason. I should just head out. Thinking about what would happen if I saw Tokio made me glum, but I'd be late if I wasted any more time. I managed to motivate myself somehow and left my room. I haven't seen Tokio yet, so maybe I'll be able to avoid him for the rest of the day. Once morning classes finished and lunch was over, the chances of us meeting would basically be nil since we had different schedules. Afternoon classes are starting. I need to focus on studying right now. My relief didn't last that long, however, as a loud siren began echoing throughout the academy. Is that the alarm? Uh-oh.
みんな落ち着きなさい。訓練通り教室で警報が鳴った場合は、次の指示があるまで一旦待機しているように。
The class erupted into chaos, but I couldn't wait for everyone to calm down. Thank goodness, I don't think anyone noticed me. I made it to the hallway without being seen and sprinted toward the command center. Immediately after I began running, I heard another set of footsteps beside me. Don't tell me. I nervously turned around, and sure enough, there was Tokio. So much for avoiding him. Actually, I should have known this would happen. Unless we'd moved classrooms for our electives, we'd need to go in the same direction to the command center. It didn't take long for Tokio to catch up.
先に行く。
Sure. He spoke to me abruptly, then ran off. I guess it's better than being ignored, but I wonder if I'll be able to fight in this state. Part of me was still worrying about that as I rushed to the command center. Yeah, this could get rough. That could be not fun.
予知できた？ええ、ついさっき見えたばかりですわ。
Kaori and Senna were talking when I arrived.
害虫が研究エリア以外に侵入しているイメージは見えませんでしたわね。警報で避難が完了してるからでしょうけど、誰かが害虫の被害に遭ってる様子もなかったですし、
Well, that's good.
数は10匹未満で多くはなかったですわね。
That's good.
それだけ分かれば上出来だね。
That is all good news.
予知で疲れたやろ。害獣と戦ってる間は休んでてもええよ。
Brum brum cars. Shut up your car. Haruka and Mocha entered after me and went over to Senna, but I felt like I couldn't approach them. I should at least say hi to Senna, but being near Kaori will be awkward.
ん？どうしたの？元気ないの？また怖い？
The commander must have noticed something was wrong. Hearing him, Kaori also addressed me.
任務はちゃんとやるんでしょ？
Of course I will. Although I gave her a reply, I still couldn't look Kaori in the eyes.
香りこそやれるの？
やるに決まってる。
Haruka was addressing Kaori, but if I thought about it, this tied back to when I ran into Ayumu the other day. Ayumu went into Tokyo's room afterwards, so he might know what happened between us. It's entirely possible Tokyo talked to him about me.
ね 香織
Oh, she just left. Haruka tried to say something, but Kaori ignored her and left the command center. Haruka just heaved a big sigh and left to chase after Kaori.
なんなん？
また何かありましたの？
Maybe. Sorry, I'll make sure it doesn't affect our mission. That's all I said to them as I left the command center. When we went to the location Senna predicted, and we went to the location and Senna predicted and lay in wait. Sure enough, the vectors appeared, and there were fewer than 10. Kaori and Haruka went out first, then Mocha and Senna followed after preparing for battle.
少ない方だね。
最近にしてはやけどな。間違っても他のエリアには行かせんようにせんと。
Yeah. Right.
なあ、本当に何かあったんやないの？あんたと香織、様子がおかしいで。
Yeah. It's nothing. Let's just focus on the mission. I dodged Mocha's question. Then Senna called out, giving us the heads up.
来ますわよ。
Alright. There may not be that many, but I have to stay on my toes. I knew I wasn't my usual self, so I put all my energy into staying focused.
目の前の2匹は私が引き受ける。香織は向こうをお願い。
Okay, here's my bet. Kaori is gonna be the one having trouble this time.
了解。
Maybe not, though. Haruka and Kaori split off in separate directions, so I decided to follow Haruka and back her up. Haruka, I'll draw them into the corner and then you attack them all at once.
君。じゃあそれで行こうか。
Haruka briefly looked like she was going to say something more, but then just quickly turned back to the vectors.
後からついていくから、先に走って。
Alright. Haruka and I worked together seamlessly and defeated the two vectors. I'm glad that went well, but... I looked over the other team and saw Mocha and Kaori fighting two different vectors with Senna on backup. Who should I help?
あっちが苦しそうだね。行こう。
Seems like Haruka had the same thought. I followed after she ran off. Things will go smoother if Haruka teams up with Kaori. I'll assist Mocha for now.
Senna!
A vector charged after Senna before Haruka could reach Kaori, so Haruka went to back her up. What did I do now? Now Kaori's in danger too. I caught sight of a vector coming in from the side while Kaori was preoccupied with the one she'd been fighting. Ha! I immediately turned toward the new vector and attacked, falling in line with Kaori. I'll back you up.
こっちはいい。モカの援護をして。
Huh? Kaori's sharp rebuff caused me to momentarily freeze up, but the vectors won't wait. I have to do something right away. We gotta focus on the vectors. I'll keep the nearby vectors busy so I can support both of you. Kaori didn't say anything in response, so I left to carry out my plan. This should even the playing field a bit. So we're helping Kaori, but just not only Kaori. After that, I continued to fight and kept my distance from Kaori.
はるか、そいつで終わりや。はっ。
After Haruka took down the last vector, Kaori's comm rang. Oh.
はい。うん。了解。司令から連絡。セナの予知通り、研究エリア以外に害獣の侵入は確認されなかったから戻ってこいって。
I wonder if our teacher is gonna get angry at us that we left because I'm gonna bet that they probably have to do some sort of like roll call.
よかった。また守れましたわね。
そうやな。
Relief spread out over the group after the commander's call, but I couldn't celebrate just yet. We completed the mission safely, and I didn't make any mistakes, but my relationship with Kaori is still... Things were still awkward between us, to say the least. I wasn't sure we'd ever be able to return to normal. Yikes.
みんな、お疲れ様。
お疲れしゃにゃーん. The commander congratulated us as usual when we returned to the command center. Should I go back to school if he dismisses us right away? I think I can make my last class. The commander turned to me as I puzzled through my jumbled thoughts.
みんなはこれで終わりだよ。
え？
と、君は少し残ってね。
Just me?
そうだよ。どうして残されるのかはわかる。
He must have been keeping tabs on me. I guess it was obvious. He immediately knew that I was acting strange when we were heading out for the mission. I resigned myself to my fate and stayed. Once everyone filed out of the room, the commander started speaking again.
さて、香りとの間に何があったのか話してもらおうかな。
I suppose staying silent won't help. I should tell him everything.
I told him that I knew Kaori and Tokyo were the same person. Then I explained the misunderstanding and how I yelled at Tokyo. I called him cold-hearted even though he didn't do anything wrong.
ああ、なるほどね。それは高藤くんが悪い。
Yes, I know it's my... Wait, what? Did I mishear him? Commander, did you say it's Tokyo's fault?
そうだね。
His words were so unexpected that I felt I needed to explain the situation again. No, it really isn't. As he said, he thought about my feelings and tried to come up with the best method. And yet I said such terrible things to him.
でも、それを言わせたのは高藤くんだよ。
The commander interjected while I was trying to explain.
高藤くんは最善を取ったつもりなのかもしれないけれど、結果的に君のことをこんなに傷つけている。
Because he wasn't thinking about like make Prince feel better. He was thinking about like get Prince to act better.
それは彼のやり方がまずかったからだ。被験者みたいって思った君の感想は正しいと思うしね。
Yeah. Really? I still didn't fully agree, but the commander continued on.
高藤くんはそういうところがダメなんだよね。相手が人間だっていうことを忘れて合理的に物事を進めようとしてしまう。
Yeah, you don't say.
だからこそブルームズのリーダーに任命して人に対しての情を学んでもらおうと考えてた。今までは結構順調に思えたんだけどね。
Maybe he's not doing as well as you thought.
でも今回のことを聞いてまだまだだと思ったよ。僕が彼にフォローをお願いしたのは人間の、それも傷ついている女の子だったのに。高藤くんは自分なりに想像したって言ったみたいだけれど、僕から言わせれば全然想像できてないね。
Yeah, I too did think that Tokyo was in the wrong.
君の素直な部分に感化されて高藤くんももう少し情の通った子になるかと思ったんだけど、うまくはいかないものだね。
The commander's criticism was so cutting, I began to feel sorry for Tokyo. Maybe, but I still said some mean things to Tokyo, so I really think I should apologize to him.
自分の悪いところに目を向けて反省できるのはいいことだと思うけれど、君は君でマイナス思考になりすぎてない？素直で明るいのが君の持ち味でいいところだと思うんだけどな。でもまあ、この状況じゃ仕方ないか。
Yeah? The commander then trailed off as if he were in deep thought. Finally, he smiled.
よし、わかった。いいようにしてあげるから、ここはお兄さんに任せなさい。
Why did they translate Oni-san to Papa Bear? Just let Big Bro. They should have just let Big Bro Kuramori take care of it. Papa Bear?
His overbearing smile was less than reassuring, but there was nothing else I could say at the moment. Oh.
香りじゃなくて俺を呼び出すなんてどういうつもり？
Well, the next morning when we arrived at the academy, Mr. Kuramori... Excuse me. Blessings. Mr. Kuramori asked for Tokyo and I, but not in his role as our commander. I wonder what he's going to talk to us about. He said he'd take care of it, but remembering our conversation yesterday, I began to worry about what he might do. Mr. Kuramori remained unruffled in the face of Tokyo's obvious irritation and tried to settle him down.
まあまあ落ち着いて。この話は香りじゃなくて高藤くんにするべきだと思ったんだよ。
ブルームズの話じゃないのにこのメンツで呼ばれる意味がわからないんだけど。
もちろんブルームズ関連の話だよ。でも高藤くんの時に話さないと響かないっていうか伝わらない気がしたんだよね。
何が言いたいのかわからない。要件は簡潔に言ってくれないと困る。もうすぐ授業も始まるんだけど。
You usually don't care about that, honey. Tokyo didn't even try to hide his annoyance, but Mr. Kuramori just responded with equanimity.
この子から全部聞いたよ。今回の件は公平に見て高藤くんが悪いね。
どうして？
Tokyo responded immediately. Mr. Kuramori's eyes opened wide in exaggerated surprise.
どうしてって。男は女の子に優しくしなきゃダメだからに決まってるでしょ。
I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
Geez, what should I do? All I could do was stand dumbfounded. I had expected him to give a more serious reason. An awkward silence filled the room, making me wish I was anywhere else. Tokyo's obviously sick of the whole thing and just wants to get over with.
話がそれだけならもう行くから。
Tokyo's words were laced with ice. He began to get up to leave.
待ちなさい。話はまだ終わってないよ。
Mr. Koromori continued speaking in his usual lighthearted manner, though his voice held a stern edge this time.
僕は前から言ってたよね。もっと人の気持ちがわかるようになりなさいって。今回の自分を振り返ってみてどう思ってるんだい？
だから想像したよ。今回だって俺なりに相手の気持ちを考えて行動したつもり。
Intention and outcome not the same. They're mismatching.
考えたことは認めるよ。ただつもりでも相手を傷つけてるから不合格だね。で、君は君で自分を見つめ直すこと。
I meekly waited for Mr. Kuromori's next words as the topic turned to me.
昨日も言ったけど、君の良さが失われてしまったよね。
What?
Right.
で、そんな二人が自分を変えるきっかけを作れるように僕から提案があります。
Oh no.
提案？嫌な予感がするんだけど。
Yeah, I have a bad feeling about this too, Tokyo. Nope, we're not at risk of death yet, I don't think. I do too. I didn't have the courage to agree with Tokyo out loud, but seeing Mr. Kuromori smile like that made me feel uneasy. Mr. Kuromori's suggestion was for us to take on missions together at another colony called Iota. There had been reports of Vector sightings near Iota recently. They even suffered an attack while we had been busy defending Theta.
実害って人が襲われたの？
いや、逃げて無事だったよ。でも、
A different
イオタ
colony.
に運搬中だった物資が
I guess-
ダメになった。
I was worried that Theta was the only colony, but apparently not.
なるほど。人が襲われるのもまずいけど、物資が届かないのも死活問題だね。
Does it? I'd only ever learned about the other colonies in class, so I couldn't quite grasp the seriousness of it. I asked Tokyo and he explained the situation matter-of-factly.
シータ以外のコロニーは食料やエネルギー、何かしらの物資を
Yeah.
シータからの補給に頼ってるんだ。
Yeah, we're going on a work trip. How far in are we? Oh, wow, we're already at 3-1. Wow, we got really far into this game, into this route. Wow. Okay.
だからどれか一つでも断たれたら、そこに住んでる人にとっては致命的だよ。
Okay. Dire, meaning that people won't be able to survive, like they'll get sick or run out of food?
もちろん備蓄はあるから、
I have
すぐ
no
にって
idea.
ことじゃないけどね。
The other
でも長
chapters
引
may
け
be
ば
way
危険
longer.
なことになる。
まあ、そんなわけだから、上層部からブルームズに出動要請が出たんだ。
So it's not really your idea.
任務は補給部隊の護衛と補給経路に出没する害獣の排除。あとは念のためしばらくイオタに常駐してコロニー内外の警備を務めてもらう。
So you want Tokyo and I to do all that?
たった二人でそれだけのことをやれって。
Right as I thought that the mission sounded difficult, Tokyo questioned Mr. Kuromori with some hostility.
やれないとは言わないけど、今までの任務と比べても負担が大きすぎる。
僕も今回の任務は本来全員で取り組むレベルの仕事量だし、最初にこの話が来た時にはそうしようと思ってたんだよ。
Okay.
でもシータの守りを手薄にするわけにもいかないからね。害獣が狙ってくるのはこっちがメインだ。だから間を取ってチームを2つに分けることにしたんだよ。
Yeah, I have no idea. Then wouldn't it be better for Ayumu, for Haruka to go since she works better with Tokyo? Or you could send Mocha, Senna, and me? The awkwardness between Tokyo and I spurred me to suggest that, but Mr. Kuromori shot it down.
忘れてもらっちゃ困るけど、これは君たち2人へのペナルティーでもある。2人は今、ブルームズの輪を乱してるよね。そんな2人の意識を変えるために、あえて困難に立ち向かわせようとしてるんだから。
That is not the best.
君たちには意見する権利も拒否権もないよ。
Alright, then. I guess we're bad. Yeah.
最悪。
Yeah. Tokyo heaved a sigh while Mr. Kuromori tried to get him to look on the bright side.
シータの外、それも別のコロニーに行くなんて めったにないチャンスでもあるんだけどな。
Yeah.
本来上層部の許可なしじゃ場所もわからないし。
確かに。
Tokyo sounds more interested now. Tokyo's tone had shifted, and when I looked over at him, I saw his eyes were glittering with excitement. No, we got into a fight with Tokyo, and it's not good.
任務に向かう道中は土壌の採取とか好きにしてもいいよね。
任務に支障が出なければいいよ。
It was clear Mr. Kuromori was trying to make the mission sound enticing for Tokyo. Tokyo researches the environment. Of course he'd want to go someplace he hasn't been before. I guess I can't say no. I mean, Mr. Kuromori did tell us that was off the table. Part of me had been waiting for the opportune moment to apologize to Tokyo. If we were going to be working together for a while, I was sure I'd get my chance. Yeah, we'll see. We were ordered to pack our things and depart at once, so Tokyo and I headed back to the dorm. Apparently, the academy already knew about our leave of absence, so refusal really never was an option in the first place.
根回しが良すぎる。面倒な手続きが終わってるのは助かるけど。
Yeah, overall mission, protect the colony. Tokyo's mission, get dirt. Now that we were alone, all the excitement had vanished from Tokyo's eyes. He was back to his usual expressionless demeanor. Just then, he'd started mumbling, but I couldn't tell if he was talking to me, which ratcheted up the awkwardness even more. I can't just leave things like this. I should do it while I can. After a moment of hesitation, I made up my mind to talk with Tokyo. Tokyo, I'm so sorry for saying such terrible things to you yesterday. Tokyo glanced at me briefly, then looked ahead again.
倉森先生も俺が悪いって言ってたし、謝る必要なんてないよ。
Doesn't matter what Kuromori said. The fact is, I said something mean. I'm sorry for yelling at you and saying you were cold-hearted. After that, Tokyo said something quite unexpected.
俺は傷ついてないよ。理解できないとは思ったけど、俺は間違ったことをしたとは思ってなかったから、それがなんで冷たいになるのか。でも、これがわからない時点で、俺はダメなんだろ。なんでも理解できるかできないかで分けて、そこに感情を伴うことができない。
Okay.
倉森先生はそこがダメだって言ってるんだと思う。
Yeah, understandable. A light bulb went off in my head when I heard Tokyo put it so plainly. He might think of me as some kind of test subject, but Tokyo also looks at himself objectively. So it doesn't matter who he's dealing with. He maintains a distance with everyone, including himself. What?
See, no! Hello! We're romancing a new boy.
It was a very scientific view. Considering we're at the same age, he had a much more mature way of thinking. You're amazing, Tokyo. I was just thinking about how Mr. Kuromori was a tad unreasonable. But you accepted his criticism and analyzed it calmly. I would have been way angrier. I think you acted very maturely. Those were my honest thoughts. The corners of Tokyo's mouth lifted just a bit.
俺はあんたの人を素直に認められるところが
It's
すごいと
interesting.
思ってる。
This is Tokyo. He's like Kent on steroids. Kent was very much about finding, logic and math. And Tokyo is about logic and science. And people, he just looks for the best way to work with people and doesn't really consider emotions at all. So he does like dirt a lot, but he also just likes the environment. He's a scientist. He's a researcher about the environment. So, he showed us a fish tank. I liked the fish tank. He smiled. Although he might have been scoffing a bit, I felt relieved that he smiled at all. Let's get this mission our all. We thought this man was like the best thing since sliced bread. And then because he like really helped us when we were feeling down. And then he revealed that the only reason he was really helping us was because he was told to. And he needed to do it to make certain that our emotions weren't affecting our ability to fight. And we got really upset. Understandably so. And now our character has circled to, I'm the one who did something bad because I made the assumption that you were doing it to be nice to me. Which I feel like isn't like an unreasonable assumption to make. I don't think I would look at someone and say, yeah, you're only being nice to me so you can make me perform better in our battles. But
I attempted some optimism, but by then Tokio had resumed his blank expression.
任務はちゃんと遂行する。けど、この任務で俺の何かが変わるとは思わないでほしい。
We'll see.
倉森先生の言いたいことは理解できるけど、俺は自分が変われるとは思ってないんだ。変わりたいとも思わないし。
I wonder if we've already improved our relationship. I kinda doubt it. It might have been a mistake to think we'd grown closer at all in the first place. I realized we were never on the same page. That's all there was to it, but it hurt all the same. Also, we're now being shipped out to another place. We're leaving for a while. It's just us and Tokio on a solo mission. Well, solo pair mission. Oh, right, I didn't turn off my computer. A blinking light caught my attention as I entered my room. As I approached, I saw that there was a new message icon on my computer screen. Maybe it's from Uncle Yashima. Hope sprung in my chest as I opened the email. Just as I thought, Uncle Yashima replied. At the start of the message, he apologized for the late response, then addressed the problems I'd written about earlier.
随分落ち込んでいるようだから心配しているよ。けれど同時に驚いてもいる。お前が誰かに対してこんなに悩むことなんて初めてな気がするからね。お前は相手に対して感情的に言葉をぶつけたことを後悔しているようだけれど、そこまでお前の感情を揺さぶった相手は貴重な存在だと思うよ。もっと心を打ち明けて話をしてみれば仲良くなれる相手かもしれない。何よりお前が仲良くなりたいと思った相手なんじゃないのかな。その気持ちはもう伝えたのかい？自分の肝心な気持ちを隠したまま後悔だけしていても何も進展はしないよ。
Uncle's got some good points.
仲良くなりたいと言って拒絶されてしまったのなら諦めるしかないかもしれないけれど、お前ならきっとうまくやれると信じている。
I felt strangely embarrassed after reading Uncle Yashima's email. I'm still just a child in his eyes. He wrote like a parent giving advice to a child. It was embarrassing, but in a good way. Also, we are a child. We're in like high school. Yeah, but that's still like, that's still minor. He looks out for me and worries like a real parent. He means so much to me. But I have to stop worrying about such childish things. Oh. What? After reading Uncle Yashima's email, I felt the negative feelings that had been weighing down on me begin to dissipate. I do want Tokio and I to get along. I should tell him, just as Uncle Yashima said. I didn't want things to keep being awkward with Tokio or Kaori. I wanted us to make up, so I decided to talk more openly with him if possible. Oh, it's Ryo. I finished packing my things and headed to the gate where we were meeting. Tokio, Mr. Kuramori, and Ryo were there.
揃ったね。では、出発前の注意事項を富塚くんから話してもらおうかな。
Alright, what's up? Ryo turned to address Tokio and myself.
知っていると思うが、変身していればシータの外でも一定時間は活動が可能だ。
Okay.
目的地までは持つだろう。だが、念のためこれも渡しておく。
Oh.
もしも変身できない状況になったりしたら、これを着るように。
Well, there's the red flag. We're gonna come across a situation where we cannot transform.
防護服だね。
ああ。着たことはあるか？
ないけど、見れば大体構造はわかる。問題なく着れるよ。
I don't really know all about that, but it doesn't look too difficult to put on. I looked the protective suit over, but didn't see anything I needed to worry about, so I continued to listen.
お前たちが護衛する補給部隊だが、5分ほど前にここを出た。追いつく必要はないが、見失わないようにだけしろ。
Okay.
到着してからも接触は不要だ。
Well, that's good. We don't basically have to escort mission this.
イオタに着いたら、あちらの責任者にこのデバイスに入っているデータを見せれば、話が通じるはずだ。
Okay. Ryo eyed both me and Tokio, then handed Tokio a small gadget. Tokio connected his cell phone to the device, then verified its contents.
滞在許可証か。
Alright.
了解。
Got it.
こっちの身分はどの程度明かしていいの？
シータから来た護衛だとだけ言えばいい。話は通しておくから大丈夫だ。
Okay. Seeing them handle everything so smoothly was impressive. Tokyo's pretty experienced with all this administrative stuff. I have to try and keep up.
確認は終わりかな。じゃあ最後に僕から2人に一つだけ注意しておくよ。
Okay. Mr. Kuromori turned to us once Tokyo and Ryo had finished. He spoke like a parent advising his children.
2人が仲良くなって帰ってくることを願ってるけど、あくまで友達としてね。
Got it. Amazing. It sounded like there was a hidden meaning behind his words, but I didn't want to be on better terms with Tokyo. I nodded, preparing myself to tackle this goal as well as the main mission. Yeah, main mission, protect Iota. Our mission, make friends. Tokyo's mission, get dirt. 3 very different things.
変身しようか。
Okay. Tokyo immediately got down to business once Mr. Kuromori and Ryo had departed. 10 minutes had already passed since the supply transport left, so we had no time to waste.
準備できたなら行こう。
Howdy hastened me to head out to the gate while I pondered what to say. We're gonna mention the blue sky, because Cowdy wants to see the sky. I immediately thought of Tokyo's excitement when he talked about the real sky. I hope you'll be able to see the blue sky. I said exactly what was on my mind. Cowdy looked at me in surprise.
そんな話よく覚えてるね。
Well, yeah. Of course I did. I wouldn't forget something important like that. You confided in me after all.
そっか。
It was more astonishing to me that she thought I'd forget, but Cowdy seemed truly surprised. After a moment's hesitation, Cowdy spoke.
本物の空は見られるよ。でもきっと青空じゃない。空気が汚れてるから空も曇ってるはず。出てみればわかるよ。
Yeah, as I passed through the gate with Cowdy, I looked around in confusion. Before me stretched a large wasteland, much bigger than I'd imagined. It was obvious no one would be able to live out here.
やっぱり曇ってるね。
I glanced over and saw that Cowdy was looking up. It is. So you're saying the air's too polluted?
ざっくり言うとそういうことだね。もう少し正確に説明するなら、本当は青空は広がってるんだろうけど。
We can jump really high. Let's jump over the clouds and take a look.
空気中に漂っている汚れた物質がそれを遮って見えなくしているって感じかな。
Cowdy sounded exactly like Tokyo just then. Since I knew her true identity and we were alone, it was only natural she'd be that way, but it was still unsettling for me. And I guess we won't be seeing the blue sky this whole stretch of the trip.
ないだろうね。それよりあれを見て。あそこにいるのが補給部隊だと思う。
I looked in the direction Cowdy was pointing and saw a large blocky silhouette. Should we get closer? I remembered how Ryo said we didn't need to stay next to them. I said as much to Cowdy and she nodded.
そうだね。ちょっと今の距離だと遠すぎる。何かあった時に対処できない。相手の顔が識別できるくらいの距離には近づいておこう。
I used psychokinesis to lighten our load, and then Cowdy and I began to sprint towards them. Nice. All right. We approached until we could make out their helmets and then slowed down again. I was wondering, why aren't we supposed to make contact with the supply transport? Are people not supposed to know about us?
一般の人たちには伏せられてるけど、一部の人間はブルームズの存在を知ってるよ。上層部はもちろんだけど、研究者やこうやってシータの外に定期的に出る人間は害獣のことも知ってる。ブルームズのことも名前までは知らなくても害獣を倒す存在として認識はしてるはず。
Okay. Why not? Cowdy turned to me with a troubled look, even though it was a genuine question.
どうしてって。でも、ああ、そっか。あんたは初めてブルームズと会った時も喜んでたよね。光栄ですとか言ってた。
Cowdy smiled slightly as she reminisced, and I couldn't help but smile too. Well, you were all so cute and strong. You saved my life, so of course I'd be happy.
それはあんただからだと思うよ。
Oh.
普通は君が悪く思うものだから。
Oh. I couldn't understand that viewpoint at all, so I said so. Creepy, that's terrible. Why would they think that? You're saving lives.
普通の人から見たら、超能力を使って戦う人間なんて害獣の存在と同じくらい異端なものなんだよ。
Yeah.
あんたはそんな感情を持つ前にブルームズの一員になったから気がつかなかったのかもしれないけど、でもあんたはブルームズにならなくても変わらなかったかもしれないね。
Oh yeah.
そういう純粋なところは初めて会った時からずっと変わってない。
Aww.
あんたはそのままでいてよ。
Aw, that's very sweet, Cody. Also, where the hell in your story are we? Okay, we're still 3-1. Yeah, we're not going to be able to finish this tonight. I think I can do like 30 more minutes, but then I'm going to have to head to bed because you're right, Phantom. I think that headache took a lot out of me. Her tone was so gentle, I ended up blurting out my feelings without thinking. I don't know about being pure or whatever, but there's one thing I know hasn't changed. I want to get closer with all of you. With you, Kaori, and Tokio as well. I said some horrible things to you, so I know I can't do anything about it if you hate me, but I don't want things to remain awkward between us. I waited nervously for Kaori's reply. She eventually spoke with some hesitation.
嫌われたのはこっちだと思ったんだけど。
Why?
冷静に考えて、俺の方こそあんたにとっては理解できない人間だと思う。俺たち考え方が違いすぎるし、それなのに俺は変わるつもりはないとか宣言したから。距離を置かれることはあっても、真逆のことを言われるとは思わなかったよ。どうしてそんなことが言えるの？
That is a logical train of thought, Kaori. That is a very logical train of thought. I thought about the best way to explain it, and I knew I'd have to say something really embarrassing for Kaori to understand. But Kaori, or rather Tokio, wanted a direct answer. I couldn't beat around the bush with him. Saying all those things was just me trying to hide my desire for friendship. When you showed concern for me, I thought we were getting closer, but then I found out it was just a misunderstanding on my part. So I took my anger out on you, but that was just me covering up the fact that I wanted to be better friends with you. I only apologized after, but I really wanted to tell you all this. If you can forgive me for what I said, then can we be friends, please? I didn't have the guts to look Kaori in the face, so I stared at the ground. Then I heard a small sigh.
あんたって素直すぎて変。
Hey!
変だけど、そこが羨ましいかもしれない。
I glanced up out of surprise and saw that Kaori looked a bit bashful.
俺、変わるつもりはないって言ったけど、あんたのそばにいると心が動くんだ。それこそ青空を見た時と同じ感じで。自分でも思ってもみなかった感情に気がつかされたりする。前にあんたに笑った方がいいって言ったよね。あれって無意識で出た言葉だったんだけど、ちょっと自分でも意外だった。
We are absolutely falling in love with this.
だからあんたといると感情が動くのは確かなのかもしれない。これが指令の言う人の気持ちを分かるようになることにつながるのかは分からないけど、この感情が何なのか知りたいとは思う。今までこんな気持ちになったことはなかったから。
Kaori's words felt like the light at the end of a tunnel. A sense of elation washed over me. Then you'll be friends with me?
うん、いいよ。でも具体的には何をするの？
I didn't think she'd need a manual on how to become friends, but things were going so well, I wanted to help out. Secret handshake. Aw, damn. I thought a secret handshake would be cute, but okay. Shake hands. Just shake hands. How about we shake hands? I thought of it on the spot, but it didn't seem like a bad idea. I waited with anticipation for Kaori's response, and she eventually nodded.
いいよ。
Once she agreed, I held up my right hand. Alrighty, here we go. Her hand was warm and our palms touching tickled a bit. I grinned involuntarily. This is a little exciting.
それは良かったけど、今が任務中だって忘れてないよね。
We're still here in our fucking clown suit. Howdy said that with some exasperation because I'd started swinging our hands from side to side out of sheer joy. I didn't care though. Of course I haven't forgotten, but I just can't help myself. Just a little while ago, I couldn't even imagine things would turn out this way. That's why I'm so happy right now.
まあいいか。あんたが笑ってくれるなら、気が向いたらまた握手くらいしてあげるよ。
Howdy looked a bit disconcerted as she said that, but her gentle tone filled me with joy.
見て。
Aw, damn.
ちょっとまずいかも。
We just held hands and now we have to fight, huh? She pulled me forward with our hands still intertwined. I saw vectors in the distance. The supply transport doesn't seem like they've noticed yet.
少し距離があるし、気がつかれる前に倒しちゃおう。
Luckily, there were only a few vectors, so Cowdy and I should be able to take them easily. Alright, back up, Cowdy. I'll back you up. I'll draw them out and you can attack from their blind spot.
了解。
Blessings. I took off towards the vectors once Cowdy voiced her approval. They spotted me. The vectors immediately rushed towards me, but before their claws could strike... Cowdy circled behind the vectors and unleashed her powers.
このまま畳みかける。
Aww. Cowdy repeatedly struck the vector's vital points, and soon the area fell silent. So amazing!
あんたのおかげでもあるし、二人の勝利でしょ。
I win. Cowdy made her declaration without hesitation. I'd say our relationship was definitely on the right track.
補給部隊は無事だね。このまま影から護衛しつつ行こう。
Okay. Say, is that... After a short while, I noticed the scenery around us had changed significantly.
生えてる草が変わった。土も気になるな。
Cowdy started gathering soil and plant samples after we had defeated the vectors. She wasn't really paying attention to anything I said. That's not what I'm talking about. Look over there. That's the colony, right, Iota?
お、本当だ。
Cowdy finally looked up and saw where I was pointing. The supply transport's going in. Since we don't have to make contact with them, how about we wait a bit before going in?
そうだね。じゃあ待ってる間に土壌を採取しておく。
Yeah, go collect some more dirt, babe. Alright, but don't get too carried away. Cowdy hid the fact that she was Tokio less and less over the course of our journey. She gave passionate commentary while stumbling across something rare and picked plants in the next breath. I'd never seen her express so much before. It's kind of cute, actually. Probably all the more because Cowdy's doing it. Cowdy was acting much friendlier towards me, which caused me to relax as well. Yeah. Oh, I think we can go in soon. I gave Cowdy a shout, but when I saw the supply transport had finished entering Iota.
了解。
She abruptly quit what she'd been doing and we headed towards the colony. Amazing. Upon entering Iota, I noticed how old and weathered it was compared to Theta. I imagine it's well maintained though, so it's probably fine for people to live here. Now that I had the chance to compare, I realized for the first time how lucky we were to live in Theta. Theta's beautiful and clean no matter where you turn. All our facilities are in good condition and living there is very comfortable. But even Theta wasn't immune to vector attacks. So wouldn't that mean that Iota, with its weaker defenses, would suffer more of them? Hey, Cowdy. I tried to ask for her opinion and saw that she transformed back into Tokyo.
あんたも今のうちに変身を解いておいたら。
Are we allowed to? I thought we were going to meet the person in charge.
あんたはともかく、俺は性別まで変わる。これからしばらくここで過ごすんだったら、基本は男の姿がいい。
Yeah.
楽だし。害獣が襲ってくると決まったわけじゃないし、イオタにいる間は変身するのを極力控えたいんだ。
Okay. Oh, so we're not necessarily going to fight. I agreed with his reasoning and quickly undid my transformation. I managed to do so just in time as a group of people clad in workwear approached us from the other side of the street. One of them stepped forward and addressed us.
君たちがシータから来た警備の人かな？女性2人と聞いていたんですが。
So they were told it would be Cowdy and myself. I thought there might be trouble when we heard this, but Tokyo held out the device we'd been given.
話がうまく伝わっていなかったようで申し訳ありません。あなたがこちらの責任者の方でしょうか？
ええ、そうです。
滞在許可証を持参しましたのでご確認いただけますか？私たちのデータもすべて入っています。こちらの警備を務めさせていただきます。高藤時夫と申します。
Oh, and I'm Prince Takanashi. I followed Tokyo's lead. He glanced over at me, then continued calmly speaking with the person in charge. Tokyo seemed so different from how he was acting as Cowdy when we were outside. I knew they're both Tokyo, but I was surprised at how mature he seemed now.
なるほど。シータの警備もされているんですね。お若いのに大したものだ。ここに到着するまでにも害獣を倒したと補給部隊から聞きましたよ。実力は確かなようですね。
Yep. So they did notice the vectors. We'd handled everything smoothly, so I'd assumed the people with the supply transport didn't notice us fighting the vectors. But since they did notice, it seemed like we'd earned some trust here. they saw us. Do you think they're okay?
説明の手間が省けて助かる。
Tokio and I whispered to each other so Iota's director couldn't hear us.
では簡単に説明させていただきますね。
Okay. After checking our data, the director looked up and addressed us more formally.
イオタはあちこちほころびが出てはいるものの、完全に壊れているような箇所はありません。
Uh-huh.
特に外壁の様子には注意を払っているので、何者かが侵入してくるとも思えないのですが、
Uh-huh.
ご存知のようにイオタに向かっていた補給部隊が害獣に襲われる事件が発生しました。
Uh-huh.
上層部の方々は外壁の点検を行う人員を送ってくださるようなので、それまでの間あなた方に警備をお願いしたいのです。
The top brass of like higher than Theta and Iota?
そのつもりで来ていますので大丈夫です。念のため俺たちの方でも外壁付近を中心にイオタの内部を見ておきますよ。
Tokyo's confidence filled me with relief.
ああ、それは助かります。ではここにいる間の宿舎にご案内しますね。
Oh? Are we living together? Because they thought it would be two women. We're probably living in the same area. He took us to a small building.
こちらなんですが、
Yep!
女性2人と聞いていたので、宿舎は1つしか用意していないんですよ。
He said this apologetically as Tokyo looked around the inside.
でも部屋は2つありそうですね。
We're living in
そ
the
れな
same
ら問
house.
題ないです。
そうですか。ではこちらをお使いください。何かあれば連絡をいただければ伺いますので。
The director explained the rest of the facilities in our lodging and wrote down his contact information before leaving.
勝手に問題ないって言っちゃったけど大丈夫だった？
Well, yeah, why wouldn't I be? Tokyo posed this question to me once the director left out the front door. Oh, yeah, it's fine. I'm totally okay with it, but that means Tokyo and I will be living together for a while. I'd already given him an answer, but thinking it through again made me break out in a nervous sweat. Although it's my first time living with someone like we're a family or something, I might bother you. I wasn't confident in my roommate abilities, so I cautiously tried to give Tokyo a heads up, but he didn't seem to think it was a big deal.
それなら俺も一緒だし、こんな風に一つの家でルームシェアするのは初めてだよ。
Great, we're gonna annoy each other then.
二人きりだから量とも勝手は違うと思うけど、仲良くなるつもりならちょうどよかったんじゃない？
Yeah, forced proximity. Guess you're right about that. Tokyo bringing up becoming better friends was definitely reassuring. That's right, this is my chance. It was best to take a glass half full approach, so I decided to just relax. Alrighty.
荷物片付いた？
We took our luggage to our respective rooms. Once we had a chance to settle in, Tokyo called out to me. Yep, how about you?
とっくに終わってる。これから出かけようと思うんだけど、行ける？このコロニーの様子、特に外壁付近が気になるんだ。
But the director said they'd been taking care of it.
それでもやっぱり自分の目で見ておきたい。向こうにもそう言ったしね。
Yeah, true.
シータと違って点検の方法も違うかもしれない。穴がある可能性は十分あると思ってるんだ。
Yeah. It's possible. The facilities around here look much older than Theta's. I told Tokyo the observations I made about Iota and he agreed.
ここに着くまでにパッと見ただけでも旧式のシステムがいくつか目についた。どうやってるのかはわからないけど、害獣側はシータの守りも突破してる。
Yeah, if they can get through Theta, they're gonna break through Iota really easy.
普通に考えて設備が古いこっちの方がもっと危険は高い。それから万が一戦うことになった場合に人の被害を少なくして戦える場所も確認しておかないと。
Yeah, good point, Tokyo. That's a good point. I didn't like thinking about it, but if someone gets attacked by a vector, there's a high chance they'll turn into one. We'll have to minimize damage and make sure not a single person gets injured.
じゃあ決まりだね。行こ
う。The sky was still bright when we stepped outside.
あと 1,2 時間は外で調査できるか。より危険が高そうなところから見ていこう。
I mull over Tokyo's suggestion. Higher risk spots where vectors could easily infiltrate. Maybe someplace with fewer people?
答えは俺と一緒だけど、考え方はちょっと違う。 害獣は知性がないし、人がいるかいないかはあまり考えてないと思う。でも人気が少ないところが危ないかもって考えは賛成する。このコロニーは見た感じ、環境の整備や補修にかけられる予算はそう多くはないはず。限られた予算内で設備の修理をしていくなら、人目につくところからやるだろうね。逆に言えば、目につかないところは手が回っていない可能性がある。
Yep. The way you figured that out is so different from how I did. You're really smart. Though I was genuinely impressed, Tokyo just looked confused.
こんなに手放しで褒められることなんてないから、逆にやりづらいんだけど。
What? Sorry, I'll be more careful next time.
いや、謝ってもらいたいわけじゃなくて、やりづらいけど。
You're a genius, but you've never been called smart?
どう反応していいか迷うけど、褒められるのは嬉しいと思う。
Yeah. Tokyo looked pleased about it, which brought me joy as well. Then I'll be sure to shower you with praise from now on.
あのさ、あんたは最初からずっとそんな感じでしょ？で、人気のない場所だけど、ゲートから遠くて居住地から離れてる場所が怪しいと思う。
Tokyo pulled up a map of Iota on his cell phone, though I don't know where he got it in the first place.
具体的に言うと、この辺り、あと 1,2 時間で見るなら1区画くらいが限度かな。
So we'll deal with the rest tomorrow. Let's go. Nice.
着いた。
Alright. Tokyo stopped walking, so I did as well. Do you want to split up? One takes left and the other takes right? It'll be more efficient. We'll cover a wider area. Tokyo pondered my suggestion and glanced around. Then he seemed to notice something.
あれ？誰かいる？
Oh, you're right. The person crept around like they were trying not to be seen, despite the area being mostly deserted.
様子がおかしい。けど、不審者っていうには無防備だ。隙がありすぎる。
I could see what Tokyo meant. Their position was vulnerable, and they didn't seem to notice us.
このまま見てても仕方ないし、声をかけよう。
Who is it? We moved closer. When we were able to make out the person's face, we realized he was a boy around our age.
こんなところで何してるの？
There've been a lot of there've been a lot of dangerous incidents recently, so you should go near the walls. The boy's eyes shot open in surprise when he heard us.
もしかして、あんたたちがよそのコロニーから来たっていう調査の人？
Investigation team?
表向きはそうなってるんだろう。話を合わせておこう。
Whispering, Tokyo informed me of our cover story. I think you should have told me that before. I nodded in response. Yes, that's right. We're checking for dangerous spots near the walls.
そういうこと。だから、ここから離れて、少なくとも俺たちがいいって言うまでは近づかないでほしい。
Really think you should have told me the cover story before we got to a place where I needed to tell the cover story.
へえ、もっと偉そうなやつが来ると思ったんだけど、俺とそんなに年は変わらないよな。俺、大輝って言うんだ。あんたたち名前は？
I'm Prince Takanashi. Taiki's energy was infectious, and I answered him right away. Tokyo also responded, albeit reluctantly.
俺は高藤時雄。
よろしくな、二人とも。
Nice to meet you too, Taiki.
じゃなくて、俺たちの話、聞いてた？
Tokyo tried to get back to our original point, as it probably wasn't the best idea to let Taiki steer any conversation, but Taiki didn't seem to care, just brushed him off.
聞いてた。けどさ、俺はあんたたちが来るのを待ってたんだ。少しだけでいいから話に付き合ってくれよ。
待ってたって、なんで？
それはもちろん、イオタの外に興味があるからだよ。
We're on important business.
外って、俺たちのコロニーのことを言ってるの？
いや、それも気になるけど、俺が興味を持ってるのはコロニーの外のことだよ。ここに来たってことは見てきたんだろ
？Another research type, maybe? Taiki's only interest appeared to be on the outside world, so I relayed what we saw on our journey here. We did see it, but it's an utter wasteland. It's nothing fun or interesting.
でも、本当の空はあるんだよな。
Oh.
空が気になるわけ?
Whoops, well, there we go. Those magic words fully grabbed Tokyo's attention.
ああ、この本を見たんだ。この本に昔の風景がたくさん載ってて、木とか花とかすっごく綺麗なんだけどさ、何より空がすごいんだ。
Amazing.
いつもコロニーで見てる空とは全然違うんだよ。友達に言っても理解してもらえなかったけど、表情が違うっていうか。
Alright, time for sky info dumping. Tokyo jumped in just as I realized he'd spoken about the sky in the same way.
その本、俺も読んだよ。
Tokyo said the exact same things, that the quality was different, so this is the book, huh? Taiki looked even more shocked than us.
本当かよ。俺以外にもこんなマイナーなもの読んだことあるやつがいたんだな。
マイナーってどうして？
だってこの本、図書室で見つけた時に埃まみれだったんだぜ。友達も見たことないって言ってたし。長い間誰も読んでなかったに決まってる。
そっか。確かに俺もこの本を読んだことあるやつに会ったのは初めてだよ。
Sky buddies, sky buddies.
それに俺と同じようなことを思うやつがいるなんて。
Oh, I'm gonna call it now. I think this guy's gonna get turned into a vector. Tokyo's gonna become friends with him and he's gonna get turned into a vector.
同じようなことって空の表情が違うってやつ？
I'm calling it.
マジか。同じことを思ってるやつがいたなんて奇跡だな。けどこれ見て空が気にならないなんて普通じゃないよな。こんなに綺麗なんだからさ。
普通はこっちの花に目が行くと思うけど。
Taiki opened the book and a smile grew on Tokyo's face as he looked at the page. Tokyo's really enjoying this. I guess that's to be expected. He just met someone who shares the same feelings as him after all. Both of them looked as though they were having a great time, so I peered at the book myself. A beautiful blue sky was displayed on the page. You're right, it's stunning, and the shape of the clouds is different in each photo.
そうそう。特にこのページがさ。
Taiki began speaking excitedly, but Tokyo abruptly cut him off.
忘れるところだった。ここから離れてもらわないと。そもそも大輝がここにいたのはなんで？
Yeah, thank you for getting us back to the original point, Tokyo.
実はさ、こっちの外壁が壊れかけてるんだ。だから抜け出してドームギリギリまで行ければ空が見られるんじゃないかなと。
It's damaged? Taiki looked a little guilty as he showed me Tokyo's spot. Uh-oh.
ほら、ここだよ。隠れてて分かりづらいけど、空気が漏れてるみたいな変な音が。
本当だ。これはまずいかも。
Should we inform the director?
あとは指令にも連絡する。なるはやで修理の人をよこせって。
ああ、待った。ここ塞いじゃうのか？
Tokyo responded to Taiki's panic in an admonishing tone.
外気が漏れてるかもしれないからすごく危険だ。つまりこの近くにずっといたら死ぬかもしれないってこと。
Yeah, you'll die.
死ぬなんて大げさだろ。
大げさじゃないよ。コロニーの外の空気を吸い続けると人は死ぬんだ。だから俺たちはこの中でしか暮らせない。
そうなのか？
Yep. Taiki looked at me with pleading eyes. I felt sorry for him, but I could only affirm what Tokyo said. He's right. Even if he managed to get out, you need a protective suit. The exchange made me realize that the facilities weren't the only things separating Theta and Iota. Even regular students in Theta understand that the air outside is polluted and will kill you. People here don't even seem to know that. It's not just that they're not allowed outside. They're being made to stay in the colony, and they're following that rule without question. Considering how Tokyo grew up in such a different environment, it's all the more incredible that he and Taiki would say the same thing about the sky.
わかった。けど、その代わり、ここにいる間は話を聞かせてくれよ。お前たちのコロニーのこととか、ここに来るまでに見た風景のこととか、仕事が終わった後でいいからさ。
うん。いいよ。
After making us promise multiple times, Taiki reluctantly left and we went to inform the necessary parties.
さすがに疲れた。
Where are we? Are we still on 3-1? Okay, no, we're finally on 3-2. We're really close to being done, actually. Yeah. You're telling me. It had been a week since we arrived in Iota. In addition to guarding the colony, we also went on regular patrols. Moreover, we spoke to the person in charge of Iota's facilities and continued to check the outer wall for damage.
あの場所以外には怪しそうなところはなかったけど、まだ見てない場所もたくさんあるし、当分点検続きかな。
Do you think there's a good chance of a vector attack? We should keep an eye on the area where we met Taiki just in case. Unlike Theta, Iota didn't have an emergency alarm system. There is supposed to be a security system that detects intruders, but there's a chance damage and harm could happen before anyone noticed it. Aw, thank you, Phantom. Yeah, I'm gonna be calling stream here really soon because I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy.
俺もちょっと考えてた。そろそろシータから点検と修理の部隊が来ると思ってたんだけど、まだみたいだし、こっちの修理技術だけじゃ不安だから、できればこまめに様子を見ておきたいところだけど。
Yeah. Oh, that's not good.
でも本気でやるとなると野蛮もすることになるだろうな。
How about we take turns? It'd be tough for one person to always take the knife shift. Yeah. I thought it was a solid idea, but Tokyo frowned.
それはダメ。やるなら俺が野蛮をやるよ。
What? Why?
どうしてって。あんたは女の子なんだし、夜に外で一人にすることなんてできるわけない。
I do it all the time. I'm a Blooms.
ましてや、ここはよく知らないコロニーだろ。一人で行かせるなんて心配になる。
You'd worry, but I'm not a regular person. I'm part of the Blooms, remember? I can hold my own with the vectors until you arrive. I thought I said that confidently, but Tokyo just sighed for some reason.
あんたさ、俺が香りとして心配だって言ったと思ってるの？
What? But you are Kaori? Is there any difference in what you two say? I stared at Tokyo perplexed, but he just looked even more agitated as he stepped towards me.
言った通り、俺はブルームズのあんたじゃなくて、あんたを一人の女の子として心配してる。危ないことがあるかもって考えたら嫌な気持ちになったんだよ。
I see.
自分でもよくわからないけど。
You're starting to fall for me. I'm not following you. We've been fighting alongside each other all this time, and he's never expressed anything like this. Then again, battles are always dangerous, so of course he wouldn't. Why is he saying this now? It's just weird. Tokyo's expression made me feel inexplicably nervous. I wondered what he'd say next, but he abruptly changed the subject.
あのさ、そういえば。
Oh, and now he's jealous.
あんたは大輝に名前で呼ばれてるよね。
Yeah, if I get you a kilogram of dirt. Oh yeah, I guess he does. I don't mind it though. Taiki's visited us nearly every day since we met him. He's interested in talking with the both of us, not just Tokyo, so I'd say we've become good friends. What about it?
じゃあ、俺もこれからはそうする。
Oh, you want to call me pal? My confusion must have been evident because Tokyo hurriedly corrected himself.
あんたも呼んで。俺のこと。
Bud!
名前で。
Oh my god. I cry. That's how they're localizing calling us by our first name. He wants to call us Prince instead of Takanashi-san. That's so adorably awkward, but I think I get what he means. We've still been a bit distant with each other, so it must have taken a lot of courage for him to say something like that. It wouldn't have been an issue with a close friend giving me a nickname. Oh, I wouldn't have an issue with a close friend giving me a nickname, but it didn't feel like Tokyo's style. It seems like he's just trying anything to help us become better friends, but I do appreciate the effort. He looks so nervous, I decided to offer up another suggestion. How about we stick with our names and just try to be more open with each other?
嬉しい気がする。
Oh, he's so cute. Yeah, Bud VTube.
さてと。なんだか元気が出てきたし、今日は徹夜でも珍しく頑張れそうだよ。じゃあ、見張りに行ってくる。朝になったら迎えに来て。
Aww. Before he left, Tokyo gave me the broadest smile I'd ever seen from him. I don't know why, but my heart is pounding. I just stood there fidgeting, unable to calm down from the whole ordeal. I knew I wouldn't get any sleep that night. All he did was say my name, but it felt different that time. I was never this nervous around other people. What the heck is going on? And with that... Whoops! No, what did you say, sir? Bingo. Alright, and with that... We are at 4-1, which means we are extremely close to being done with Tokyo's route. But it is time to drop a save. And, head out for the night. So, let's pop over here. Alright, you all know the usual song and dance. If you're not already following me on social medias, I would appreciate it if you would. Yeah, it's CP time. Thank you everybody so much for being here with me. I really appreciate it. Yes, I seep. Alright, well, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. Oh, blessings. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Alright, well, without any further ado, bye-bye!